where you'll create memories that will last a lifetime. For more information, visit innofthemountaingods.com.
What's really going on? Daniel Bellows here at Permian Ford Lincoln, corner of Sanger and El Paso, and I have some big news. You're going to want to listen to this. 2025 Ford models have 0% for 60 months and 90 days of deferred payments. That means you won't have a payment until February, possibly March. Right here at Permian Ford Lincoln, corner of Sanger and El Paso. 0% for 60 months on 2025 model year-end clearance sale is going on right now. You got to get yourself down to Permian Ford Lincoln. We have a huge selection, and we're ready to serve you guys. 1000 North Del Paso Street here, Hobbs, America.
Not all models and trim levels qualify. See dealer for details.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A light run following the Thanksgiving holiday, but a nice selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality native calves, light yearlings. We expect to sell 400 head. Breaking down like this: 20 bred cows today, excellent quality black white face, red white face English crossbred cows, bred to Angus and Brangus bulls, cows 6 to 10 years old. 37 calves, the three bar cattle company, Jow, New Mexico, excellent quality black white face Angus crossbred calves, shots at Brandon, medium condition, 650 pounds. 16 calves, Mr. Pud Snyder, Ruidoso Downs, New Mexico, excellent quality black Angus calves, cattle weaned 60 days, 2 round of shots, medium condition, 375. 500 pounds. 25 calves, Mr. Taos Muncie, Corona, New Mexico. Ex-quality black Angus calves, 1 round of shots, medium condition, 375, 475 pounds. 14 calves, Mr. Mike Miranda, Mule Creek, New Mexico. Ex-quality black Angus cross calves, cattle weaned 45 days, 2 rounds of shots, 500 pounds. And 17 calves, Mr. Bryce Wagner, Monument, New Mexico. Ex-quality black white face, red white face Angus crossbred calves, 1 round of shots, 650 pounds. Sale time this morning will be at 9 o'clock. Sell pairs of bred cows about 9:20. Be selling calves and yearlings about 9:45. Really light on cows and bulls. Be on bred cows, calves, and yearlings pretty quick. We expect to sell 400 head today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
At Kinetic, we know how important fast, reliable internet is to business. How cybersecurity doesn't just impact your business, but your customers too. How a dependable fiber network turns reliability into opportunities to grow. Without it, no internet service could mean no business. Kinetic Business Ready Internet offers gig speeds, advanced tools, plus internet backup, all designed to keep your business up and running. Internet better with a partner committed to your business. Visit getkineticbusiness.com.
Did you know a 529 education savings plan covers more than just tuition? Tutoring and educational classes, computers and technology, specialized training, continuing education requirements. With a 529 plan from the Education Plan, your savings can support every stage of education, from kindergarten to college to career-ready skills. Start saving today with the Education Plan so they can carry their dreams wherever tomorrow takes them.
If you need an aggressive, experienced personal injury attorney who is honest and true, you need to get the Gorilla.
So I'm 23 years old. I worked at a warehouse, and I took an injury which caused the amputation of my right leg. I was approached by a specific firm, and they turned my case down within 5 minutes. I was told to come visit the Gorilla Law Firm, and immediately they saw potential in my case. And I tell you what, Gorilla Law Firm had my back when no one else did. The Gorilla Law Firm made me a multi-millionaire. And if you're injured, you call the Gorilla Law Firm too.
The Gorilla Law Firm, 3130 North Grimes and Hobbs, or call 575-964-2720.
Wilbanks LLC and Wilbanks Trucking Services LLC have over 37 years of experience from 1987 to 2025 in the Permian Basin oil and gas industry. Wilbanks recently divested out of the rig moving operations to focus exclusively on providing crane services to support the growing demand in the basin. Wilbanks continues to provide quality, expert, and performance-based services to a multitude of customers. With a fleet ranging from 60-ton to 350-ton cranes, locations in Hobbs, Artesia, and Odessa, they hope that you will consider their team for projects ranging from plant builds, compressor sets, to general site builds. Please call 575-746-6318 to find out what they can do for you. Wilbanks LLC, your regional expert in the crane world.
Southeast New Mexico weather.
Good morning. The forecast over southeast New Mexico is temperatures in Roswell on this Monday at 60 degrees under mostly sunny sky. Carlsbad, Artesia at 62 degrees and 60 degrees in Lovington, a big warm up from the weekend. In fact, tomorrow's temperatures in Lovington about 61 degrees, while Carlsbad, Artesia in the middle 60s. For W105 FM, I'm meteorologist Ron Roberts.
Your country plays on W105.
Can you tell me what day it is?
Monday. Thank God.
Today is the day.
Shop from the comfort of your own home.
Online.
It is Cyber Monday today.
Black Friday ends. Check out Cyber Monday.
One of the biggest online shopping days of the year.
Wait, I thought we were buying online.
Look online. Everything's online.
Women be shopping.
I'm buying some really dumb stuff online.
Happy Cyber Monday.
Let's start the show.
All right, Monica, I need you to dance.
Negative.
Looks like we're gonna have to get on down a little bit to get you up this morning.
Oh, well, maybe.
Don't you be hiding. Listen to what I say. Get your head out of bed. Man, you ain't listening to what I say. Get your head out of bed. You just laying there like you're dead. The alarm went off 10 minutes ago. Now get your feet out of bed and get them on the floor. Get your head out of bed. Get your head out of bed. You ain't listening to what I say. That alarm went off 10 minutes ago. Get your feet on the floor and get them out that door. Get your head out of bed. Get your head out of bed. You ain't listening to what I say. Get your head out of bed. You're just laying there like you're dead. The traffic out there's getting bad fast. You better get to work or it'll be your get your head out of bed. Get just laying there like you're dead. Get your head out of bed, man. You ain't listening to what I said. Now don't touch your stereo. Don't touch your stereo. Listen to me now, don't touch your stereo. I say, don't touch your stereo. If you're gonna be cool like me, you leave it here. Don't touch your stereo. Don't touch your stereo. Listen to me, man.
And good morning to you. It is a beautiful Monday after the long holiday. God bless America. God bless you. We are Beyond the Breakfast Club morning show. Text line 877-396-W105 being brought to you by our buddies at Kubota, your Kubota dealer at Amigo Machinery, amigo-machinery.com. Of course, being powered by our buddies at Permian Ford, broadcasting from the End of the Mountain God studio. And, of course, question of the day this morning being brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer. They also have the big truck parts. You can find them Avenue D in Lovington. Question of the day, Cyber Monday. How much time are you going to spend online shopping? You know, I thought I had beat Black Friday, having the wife in the car traveling on Friday. I did that. Today, I don't know what's going to happen. Internet might go out here at the station, Will. I'm just saying. I mean,
on purpose?
Yeah, I don't know exactly how to fix that. So, your mic.
Is it mic?
You're on mic too?
No.
Oh, that's 3?
Try
Oh,
it.
3. That
There you
might
go.
work.
That might work now.
That might work. I'm over here going 2, 3, and Monica is on 4.
Yeah, we better now.
Yeah, Monica?
I'm on 5.
You're on 5. Yeah, I got you up. 5, 4, one of those dang numbers. So Will Rooney in with us today. Blake is off this morning doing movie stuff, and Monica is in. And I think I gained about coming back from Louisiana. I probably gained at least a couple pounds, at least.
Was there anything in particular that, other than normal Thanksgiving fare, was there
No,
something
just fried oysters, fried shrimp.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah,
all the
stuff that you can get on the coast.
Yeah, stuff that I don't like to eat, but I got to eat. So.
What do you mean you don't like? You love?
Well,
to
I mean,
eat it?
I love it, but I tried to stay away from fried stuff.
Well, good for you.
But
speaking of stay away from fried stuff, we got to talk about the Big Spring sighting.
Yeah, I saw. I stopped in Big Spring. I had told Tom. I said, "Hey, if you can meet me for lunch on Saturday."
But you knew he's doing that.
Yeah, I was like, "I'll pay for your lunch."
It's like ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Someone just rang the dinner bell.
Yeah. So, and then I actually beat him to a restaurant. I called him from San Angelo, and he's about 35 minutes away. I said, "Look, I'm about an hour and a half away." And then I called him. I don't remember that. I said, "Look, I'm 40 minutes away." And I beat him, and he was like, "Man, you probably drive too fast."
Or you drive too slow, Tommy.
No doubt. So Tommy is doing good, and looks like he's probably not taking care of himself, but I mean he's doing good.
From the 6 buffet plates, that might have been a key. Might have indicated.
I'm kind of watching what I'm eating. Yeah, I see that every damn
Watching
bite.
it. You go in your mouth.
To be fair, one of the 6 plates was salad.
Yes. God bless him.
Fruits and vegetables on the other one.
Yeah, I don't know if he got any fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, no, probably not.
But he
there was something with ranch on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was used as a dipping sauce.
Oh, gotcha. I thought here I gave him the benefit of the doubt.
I think that was a dipping sauce. Today is Bartender Appreciation Day. Also, bifocals at the Monitor Liberation Day. I just take off the glasses. That's my bifocals. Yeah. Civil Air Patrol Day. Eat a red apple day. Faux fur day. Yeah, that's, darn sure don't want to wear any fur. They'll spray paint it. I don't even know if they're on that cause this week. They might be off the cause. You might be safe where they spray your fur coat. Cookie Cutter Day, Christmas Lights Day, Frito Pie Day with a little chili. National Pie Day. Wear a dress day. That excludes you, Will.
Well, good.
And World AIDS Day going on. So got back to New Mexico. I was like, damn, it's cold.
Oh, yeah.
So Sunday morning, like I'm going to get stuff to cook a big gumbo. So that's what I did. Got the gumbo cooked. Turned out fairly good. When you don't do something, often, I haven't cooked a gumbo in a year, but it came back to me, just like in my grandma's kitchen. It came back to me.
I think that's what happened because you were in Louisiana for a couple of days.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your roots wanted to come out.
So I was able to cook a gumbo. The wife said it was good. We'll see. Monica, I'll share it with you.
Please do.
So, looks like thieves in France in the Champagne region pulled off an unusual, bold heist, stealing a half tons of snails from a local farmer. By the way, that's worth about $100,000. They're looking for a slimy trail behind the crooks. Hopefully they find them.
Escargot for the win.
Yeah. Hopefully they find these people. New survey shows 56% of dog owners believe their pooch is their soulmate.
Aww.
I love my dogs, just not the soulmate. I hope their husbands or their wives don't find out about the dog being the soulmate. Holy cow.
Well, there again, are we talking about liberals or not? Because if there are, there's their birthing person or whatever.
Yeah, I think that goes across all lines.
Yeah.
Republican lines, because I know people. Yeah.
I did. Well,
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
I can't argue.
Yeah. Paramount is going to revive Rush Hour, the film franchise. President Trump mentioned that last week. He's like, man, y'all need to bring back Rush Hour. And here we go, another Rush Hour.
Really?
And all the guys are into it.
How neat.
So who started that? Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're both signed up. And the guy that, I can't think his name. The guy, was it Benny? Anyway, he said he'll be back too. Mother of the White House press secretary Carolyn Leavitt's nephew has been detained by ICE agents in Boston awaiting removal of the United States. Now, look, if she's in the country illegally, then so be it. Raids have begun as I came back from Louisiana. Raids have begun in Louisiana.
Wow.
And part of me is going, this is kind of sad that people did not do it right. But as a person that has lived through, having to go through immigration, I get it. It's a tedious, long process. But it needs to happen, especially coming off shootings that we've had this weekend. People that are planning to blow up buildings that came into this country. And these are the ones that were supposedly vetted.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll dive into all of that coming up this morning. Text line is open. Our number 396 W105. Question of the day, Black Friday. Make that Cyber Monday. How much time will you spend actually on the computer on a Cyber Monday? Monica, how much time?
I was just answering the question today. I don't know how much time, maybe a few hours, but I do know my budget. I know what I can spend today. That's maybe.
Well, at least somebody knows what they can spend.
He's like, could you?
Yeah, this woman, Own Clouds, another pair of Own Clouds, and then another purse. I'm like, do you really need this stuff? This is no lie. 5 pairs of chanclas delivered to my mom's. And I'm like, what is this? She goes, I'm going to sell them. I got them online for 12. I'm going to sell them for 20.
Wow.
I just don't know if that's worth the hassle.
Well, no, you know what? Honestly, it probably is for her because she stays at home. That's her little side gig.
Yeah,
so
I
she's
just
got the time
don't
to
know if
package
it's worth
and
the
send.
Stuff she's selling in the Philippines when
Yeah,
she goes back.
I just don't know if it's worth the hassle. And the problem is the money never seems to get back in my pocket.
No, it never will.
So
well, you got to make sure that she marks stuff up for the shipping cost.
Yeah,
because you guys got to ship that back to the Philippines.
Oh, I just lost that. Come on now.
Oh, no.
I just lost my weather. I unplugged it.
Yep, all the way.
I'll deal with that in a second. Check out the weather. I'll get you updated with the weather coming up in just a second. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Atlas Makeup Mirror and Grooming Tool ×1 ×5 ×10. Magnification, LED lights, travels easy. Comes in a traveling case, weighs less than 4 pounds. It's perfect for putting on makeup or trimming the beard. 575-631-3189, or you can just go to the website and check them out at atlasmakeupmirror.com. They're also on Facebook and Instagram. You can find them there and talk to them about the wall mount version. Now, the cool thing is they've just rolled out the pocket mirrors. So if you haven't seen the pocket mirrors yet, go online to Atlas Makeup Mirror. $29.99 for the small one, $39.99 for the larger one. AtlasMakeupMirror.com. Weather for southeast New Mexico, maybe a chance of nothing but cloudy skies today. High temperature getting up to 74. Chance of rain late tonight, about a 60% chance of rain. 53 tonight, 90% chance of rain tomorrow as we get up to about 60. Wait a second. This is not right. This weather is from last week.
Got to refresh.
Yeah. Maybe I need to.
The temperature gave it away. Huh?
Yeah, 57 and sunny all day today. And it should be a pretty nice day today. So can't complain about southeast New Mexico. And then for Ruidoso, we're calling for skies today looking pretty decent. Yeah, getting up to about 57 and sunny skies. Below freezing tonight, down to about 25. Sunny tomorrow and 63. And for Albuquerque, weather looking pretty decent all day today. 20% chance of showers, most of that coming this morning. 62 the high, 43 with an 80% chance of rain tonight into tomorrow. That all should clear up coming up by Friday. 5-day forecast, that's easy. Go to W105radio.com. Check of the weather being brought to you by www.rv3.com, 988-0392. Very quiet, affordable place to park your RV. Very nice. If you're working around Carlsbad, looking for a quiet place for working folks, this is it. 162 RV sites, 30 and 50 amps available. 988-0392. Go to the website, www.rv3.com. 619 text line is open. How much time are you going to spend on Cyber Monday? By the way, Black Friday spending, the numbers were up, squashing the last couple years. People spending money. And so it looks like Black Friday sales exceeded expectations, with shoppers spending heavy on both online and stores. And we'll see how Cyber Monday does today. On the way, we'll talk about New Mexico lawmakers seeking a change of multiple dollars, we knew this was going to happen. All the big settlements coming down the pike. We'll talk about that. And the grandfather accused brutally disciplining his grandfather. He treated them like dogs. We'll dive into that story. And disturbing new poll shows young voters are going in the opposite direction. Democrat socialists, they think it's a great idea. We'll dive into that. Up next on your Monday, it's 6:20. Monica and the text.
Caroline Levitt's mother's nephew. Would that make him Caroline's cousin? Sounds like it. And I'd like to congratulate the Bulldogs on another state championship.
Eked it out. But it's a win.
Yeah, it was very, very, very close, but that was what, 21-20?
25-24.
Yeah, and, Dexter was ahead in that game and ended up losing their game.
St. Mike's came back and beat them.
Yeah, St. Mike's came back and beat them with clock running out. Final score 28-21. Texaco beat Eunice and 42-7. And 4A Bloomfield beat St. Pius 58-27. And in the 6A, Las Cruces lost to Cleveland. Final score 35-28. So football is officially over.
That was some heartbreaking, stuff. I'm obviously good for Artesia, sad for the Coyotes.
Yeah, yeah. They both came out swinging, and that is a long-time rivalry where they'll both probably be back in the playoffs next year.
You know it.
Kathy from the Patch said, I left New Mexico on November 22nd, and it was summer. I came back yesterday, and it was winter. What the hell are y'all doing down here? Let me tell you, L.A. was mighty fine. I'm glad you're back safely, Kathy. Papa Sherm said, so today is National Bartender Day. Shout out to AOC. Good to hear Will in the studio this morning, said a texter.
Thanks, guys.
Hippie from the Patch said, good morning, everyone. I hope y'all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you, you as well. Tamala Hater said, Kevin, I saw you on Facebook. It looks like you gained 400 pounds.
That was Tom. That was not me.
What the hell? Yeah, I've gained a little bit, but it wasn't 400.
It wasn't that much. And it was Thanksgiving. There's a little excuse. The editor chick said, absolutely zero. I hate shopping online. Smokey in Arizona said, good Monday morning, Monica, Will, and B. The 1st of December. Good morning to my baby Butthead. I love you. Have a great day to her and everyone else. Joseph said, good to hear you on the air, Will.
Thank you, sir.
And last one, hey, B, how long do you stay out of the U.S. when you go to the Philippines?
Depends. 8-9 months, usually.
And Texter Hector said, good morning, breakfast team. And that's it for the text line.
Oh, I got to remember, I got to get a driver. There's a guy in Carlsbad that's going to the Philippines this month.
Oh, yeah.
And right around Christmas, and I told him that I would supply the car because I don't want him wandering, Christmas time, everything shuts down. You might not get a car to go to the city, to the next city over.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, let me just supply the car. You just pay the driver.
Wow.
Cool enough.
Well, you go to a foreign country and that's scary enough.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need all the other scary stuff.
Well, with, unnormal schedules, holiday type stuff.
Yeah.
When you're not used to what it is.
Yeah, they shut down.
Well, and just like most, there's certain ethnic areas in the Philippines is one of them where there's a lot of religion. And
yeah.
So anything to do with Christmas is just like
the entire they've started playing Christmas music like last month.
Yeah. We just barely started after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I heard a couple of those. I'm just like, I'm not a big. I am a
one an hour. No, I know, but one of our guests later today, he's a firm believer in all Christmas all the time.
Oh, heck
oh
no.
yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, can't do that. No, can't do that. All right, tweet of the day coming up this morning. Looks like New Mexico lawmakers seeking to change the millions of dollars in settlements paid out by the state. So lawmakers are unhappy at the recent meeting revealed significant amount of money that the state spent on settlements last year. Major payouts stem from medical malpractice and civil rights violations. totaling millions of dollars for taxpayers. During a recent Legislative Finance Committee meeting, lawmakers heard from the General Services Department about $55 million in settlements. Largest category was civil rights violations, which amounts to about $33 million. Medical malpractice lawsuits filed in the state total about $11 million, and most of that coming from the University of New Mexico. Hospital, they settled 24 cases during the fiscal year 24 and 25. Wow. And of course, the how much money you can sue for now has gone way up because the lobbyists have won they passed that bill allowing you to sue for more money and chasing our doctors out of this state. Try getting a neurologist in the state of New Mexico. In October, they scheduled me an appointment in Roswell for May of 2026.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yes, if I have a bleeder in my head, maybe I can hold on until then. 400 doctors have fled this state because medical malpractice has gone up 3 times the amount than it cost in nearby Texas.
Oh, well, but if you ask the liberals, they're going to say it's the right's fault.
Yeah.
It's Trump's fault somehow.
No doubt. No doubt. Looks like a man in Texas accused of brutally disciplining his grandkids by treating them like dogs. Cody Wayne Ainsworth, 52, arrested and charged with 3 counts to injury with a child in Bruceville. Police, they learned about the allegations, responded to a call. The mother and children told police that she got into an argument with her stepfather, identified as Ainsworth, because of the way he disciplined the kids. Woman told the police chief on one occasion, 6-year-old was taking a bath and Ainsworth and used his body wash, the grandfather's body wash. And now he got mad and he made the kid eat off the floor.
You don't use Papa's body wash.
Yeah. Leave the Old Spice alone. So, other cases where he made them do all kinds. He treated them like dogs.
Oh, that's awful.
So, I'm sure there's more to this story. They continue to investigate out of Texas. I have no idea where Bruceville / Eddy, Texas is. But this guy's going away for a little while. And disturbing new poll shows that Democrats are taking things a step further. Young voters under the age of 40 embrace the idea of Democrat socialists like Mamdani.
Oh, yeah. No,
they embrace that idea.
There's certain groups that it is very popular.
Yeah, they think it's a great idea.
Well, of course, it sounds great. It sounds great in theory.
Sounds good.
It's not, but as history has proven to us time and time again, in practice, it doesn't work.
No.
Does not work. All right, 6:28 morning. How you doing? Where are you calling from this morning?
Doing good, sir. Calling from the farm this morning also.
You need to get to work, Frank. They need you.
It's 52 degrees in South Texas, so everybody's bundled up over here.
Yeah,
Yes,
well, it's a little colder here, Frank. It's a little colder.
Yeah, that's what I heard last night. Yeah, it was pretty cold out there in the patch.
Yep.
No, I just wanted to say, the Democrats, they want to defeat the United States, the American people, the patriots, in ways that they want to throw war crimes under pig headset, and that's unconstitutional if you ask, because he's running the Pentagon, he's running the military, and he's got every right to attack whoever's attacking the United States. And the Venezuelans were attacking the United States with fentanyl, and now they're paying the price. And now the Democrats wanna bat for Venezuelan, and I don't think that's right. And it's a globalist takeover, like I've mentioned it a couple of times. The Democrats are part of the globalists, and there's a couple of rhinos too. They want to divide up Russia, cut it in 4 pieces. The Rothschilds want to take over that one like they did with Israel.
Well,
And,
they've already called in, Frank. They've already called in the EU and the UN to take us to task. So listen to Marco. I appreciate you, Frank. Listen to Marco Rubio and what he had to say about the EU condemning America about bombing the drug boats.
I don't think that the European Union gets to determine what international law is. What they certainly don't get to determine is how the United States defends its national security. The United States is under attack from organized criminal narco-terrorists in our hemisphere, and the president is responding in the defense of our country. I do find it interesting that all these countries want us to send, and supply, for example, nuclear-capable Tomahawk missiles to defend Europe. But when the United States positions aircraft carriers in our hemisphere where we live, somehow that's a problem. So I would say that the United States and this president has made very clear his job is to protect the United States from threats against the United States, and that is what he's doing in this operation.
So Marco Rubio and Trump giving the middle finger, pretty much, giving the middle finger to the EU. And with all the problems they have in Europe, you would think they would be going, wait a second, we don't need to get involved in that. We need to stay clear of all that mess. You know what happened over the weekend with our National Guard members being shot in D.C.
Tragic.
Is troubling. We'll hear from the president coming up. But tragic incident that claimed the life of that National Guard member. Instantly, the Democrats said, well, she didn't even want to be there. Not true. By the way, her family has come out and said she loved what she was doing. She thought she was making a difference.
She didn't even want to be there. Jeez. I don't know when the Democrats are going to get it through their head. Now, don't get me wrong. This is not an indictment of all folks of any religion or all folks of any ethnicity, but by the same standpoint, when you invite a whole bunch of people from another nation who are used to living a certain way in a third world country, you bring them to America and you're surprised when they go back to those same ways.
Yep.
They've lived that way their whole life. What do you expect?
Yep.
So good.
Yeah, and you know what? Their designs on making America into the country they came from is against everything that our forefathers stood for. I have no problem with culture. Look, I am a Cajun. I am a Kunas. I understand culture.
Bring your Somali restaurants. But don't try to take us and make us be Somalia.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
And if you want to have a little Somalia in a certain area, well, there again, that's Minnesota's decision. But if that's what they want, that's great. But don't try to subvert everything else by having Ian Omar go up there and try to change the country.
Yeah, sad.
I agree. It kind of defeats the purpose of them coming to the United States, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are you fleeing from if you're just going to recreate it here?
Yep.
That's a very good point, Will.
So, looks like 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom died of her injuries, and Andrew Wolf remains hospitalized in critical condition. What do we know about this guy? What do we know about the shooter from Afghanistan? And, they've also, over the weekend, this story really hasn't made a whole bunch of news. The other story where they arrested another guy that was plotting a 9/11 attack on America.
Yeah.
And then earlier this month, they stopped the guy from Afghanistan in a Toyota Corolla, expired plates. His name was Jamal Wali, 36 years old. When they stopped him, he got belligerent with them and started yelling, I should be serving with the Taliban. They're better than you. See, if you don't love America, don't come to America. President, we'll talk about that coming up in a second. Morning, how you doing? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I got you. What's going on?
Okay. So, I wanted to talk about the shooting in D.C. What caught my attention was that he was taking off his clothes after he shot those people. I think he was trying to steal a uniform from those guardsmen and get access. That's what I think.
Interesting.
Wow. Yeah, I missed that. I've been traveling all week, and I missed that. That's an interesting take.
He was only like 500 yards from the White House, and to travel that far, that's my theory anyway. But I love your show, guys. Thank you.
I appreciate you so much. And, man, that's an interesting take. And then another bloody weekend in Stockton, California. Authorities in California say the Sunday, 4 people dead, 11 injured in a banquet hall shooting. If I understand this right, this was a birthday celebration that left 4 people dead and 11 injured in Stockton, California, which is a bit south of Sacramento. And more information on that should be coming out, I would think, this morning. The victims range from 8 years of age to 21 years of age. Sad. Mm-hmm. And Presidio police made a stop in Presidio and located about 6,400 rounds of high-caliber ammo along with guns that were trying to get into Mexico. So the way this works is that the money and guns go back to Mexico and the drugs come to America. That's the way that works. But you can't buy ammo or guns in Mexico legally. So what they try to do is buy stuff here in America and bring it across.
I'm sure on some level that's sad. That's a sad statement that it's easier to cross the border with illegal ammo than it is to just simply buy it in Mexico.
Well, yeah, because they have cut off all ways for folks to buy guns and ammo in Mexico. So the only people with guns in Mexico are the military and the cartels.
Yep.
The people have been cut out of that equation. This is why America, we never give up our guns.
Well, and that's it too, because the average citizen in America has guns. But ask the folks in Australia how their gun control is. Ask the folks in England how their gun control is.
Yeah.
Ask the folks in Canada how their gun control is.
Yeah. Like in Australia, I had a buddy of mine in Australia say, don't ever give up your guns. That's the way they got us.
Yep.
Don't ever give up the guns. All right, 6:37. We'll go to the text line coming up in a second. Tweet of the day this morning being brought to you by Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply, 1105 East 2nd in Roswell. Homegrown and proud of it. Farm and Ranch Supplies, Western Wear. Looking for gifts? They've got a lot of gifts, plus everything you need for the farm or ranch. Certified Purina dealer, trailers, tank, tack, fencing materials, and more. 1105 East 2nd in Roswell. You can also find them in Capitan at the Lincoln County Mercantile. All right, Eric Swalwell running for governor of California. Got hit head on and failed to answer the question. The question was about men and women's locker room. And you remember this story from Gold Gym a couple weeks ago. This lady is a singer. Her name is Tish Hyman. She is a singer, happens to be a black lesbian, and she is standing up now talking about why are we allowing men in women's locker rooms?
Thank God.
Yeah, and guess Swalwell would not answer the question. Here's he tried to get out of it. He squirmed.
Of course he did.
He squirmed. Here's what happened.
No woman should be harassed in a locker room.
Answer straight. Are there going to be women? Are you against men in women's locker rooms and sports? That's all you need to answer.
I'm telling you, I don't want men harassing you in a women's locker room.
I know.
That should not happen.
It's happening all around America. There are 45 women and there are 45 men in the women's prisons right now, raping them, picking them out like chickens. The trans men are not women, and they're raping women. So I don't care if you're on the Democrat side, the Republican side. We need to be on the women's side, people. It's happening to our girls. It's happening to our women. And I'm here to let everyone know that this is happening. Open your eyes.
By the way, he never answered the question. Are you going to stop this?
Oh, of course not. Of course he didn't answer. He's a typical politician. He's not going to answer the question.
By the way, the Democrats are to blame for just that happening.
Yeah.
They are. We talked about Muslims coming to the United States. Listen to what Dearborn, Michigan, what they had to say in Dearborn, Michigan, the mayor over the weekend.
Because our coexistence is threatening to those who reject the most sacred of all American ideals, that we are created equal, and that we are all entitled to a place in the American story. Because whether you're looking out from the stained glass of this church or the
Sorry, that was my bad.
minarets of this mosque, the flag planted firmly in front of both wave the same. It has the same number of stars and the same number of stripes, and it belongs to all of us. This is America at its strongest, an America that does not carve exceptions to its ideals, does not stain its constitution with terms and conditions about who can be excluded from the American family.
Look, you come to this country, you want to be a part of America, you love America, you embrace America. I will embrace you, no matter what religion you are a member of.
Amen.
That's pretty much what the president said. But the president came out and said, we are going to vet everybody. First of all, talked about the National Guard and the attack on our National Guard.
She's no longer with us. She's looking down at us right now. Her parents are with her. It's just happened. She was savagely attacked. She's dead. She's not with us. Incredible person. Outstanding in every single way, in every department. This horrible.
So what are we going to do about this? What are we going to do about these attacks on American citizens? President said we are going to take a look at all visas and make sure people are vetted to be in the United States.
We must now re-examine every single alien who has entered our country from Afghanistan under Biden, and we must take all necessary measures to ensure the removal of any alien from any country who does not belong here or add benefit to our country. If they can't love our country, we don't want them. America will never bend and never yield in the face of terror. And at the same time, we will not be deterred from the mission these service members were so nobly fulfilling.
By the way, when you come to this country, get a green card, stay in this country.
Yeah.
I don't know about amnesty. There are rules, and you have to answer certain questions. And evidently, some people lied on their test. Some people lied on their application.
Well, you think?
Yeah.
Well, but there again, we're talking about the citizenship application. 90% of the people that we're talking about haven't even applied for citizenship.
Yeah. Yep. But they applied as a legal resident.
Or for amnesty.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know how amnesty and green card applications, I don't know that process. But it's, part of becoming a citizen or getting a green card. It asks about communism. It asks about if you were a member of a socialist party, if you were ever a member of the military in a foreign country. Asked all those questions.
Well, here's the thing. If you think that any of those questions are true, do you think they're going to answer them truthfully?
Yeah.
So I can actually speak on, I know a family who is here seeking amnesty. They were let in under Biden.
Yeah.
They were given bracelets. So to say, to keep track of them. And they've had series of events, or not series of events, series of interviews. And each time they ask them the same questions, I guess to see if their story has changed or if there's details missing. And so they're on their way to getting the amnesty granted, so to say. But it's tough. It's a tough process.
And we look at people saying, well, we're coming here because our lives are in danger. Hell, our lives are in danger.
Yeah.
Our lives are in danger. In some cases where these people are coming from, our crime rate, our violent crime rate is higher in America than those countries.
Well, if we look at the amount of people that are coming, just take one country. Take a Venezuela or take an El Salvador. Take wherever you want. Just take one area and say, okay, all the people that are coming from that area, if all those people with that same fervor tried to change their country,
Right.
how would that happen? How would that fix things?
And I'm just gonna point this out. All the people that come to this country for a better life and wave another country's flag.
True.
This is what this is about.
Well, and
I mean, that doesn't help your situation.
We have plenty of Chinese nationals that have come across that came from mainland China, who lived under communism, who
Right.
came here, and they don't want anything to do with communism. They completely 100% are happy to be American. But then you have others, obviously, that are here as plants.
Yep.
So I mean, but I don't condemn all Chinese because of a few bad actors.
Nope.
That's right.
Not at all. And it's the same with any Muslim or Afghanistan or Somalia or anyone from any other country. It doesn't matter. It's all. But if you demonstrate, and one of those demonstrations is to outwardly protest the country that you're living in. If you're demonstrating that, I mean, don't get me wrong, you're free to protest. But if you're going to protest after protest and death to America and death to the infidel and all of these different things that you're chanting, then no, you should not be here.
Yep. I agree. And then the other thing is that you have to love this country. You have to be here for the right reasons. And if you're not here for the right reasons, like the president said, we don't want you.
Right.
And you probably shouldn't be here. But then you got people like Jasmine Crockett, Jasmine Crockett, talking about, well, what about the white supremacists? What about the white supremacists? Well, tell me about these white supremacists. Tell me about the white supremacists. Where are the white supremacists? Are they the ones that are like shooting people? Or are they the ones? Where are they?
Right.
Because I'm going to be honest, I haven't heard about the KKK in a number of years. And when you mention stuff like the Proud Boys, the leader of the Proud Boys is a black dude.
Well, and there again, just if for some reason the KKK roused their head, which don't get me wrong, and I think unfortunately racism is still alive, and the Democrats are breeding more of it. They're breeding more hate by doing what they're doing. But that being said, if it was alive and if they did anything out there in the world, we would hear about it instantly. And it would be on every news channel, and it would be nonstop, and it would just be hammered into us because they would be trying to perpetuate that hate. But guess what? The only things we hear about can usually be disproven pretty quick.
Yeah. And then the other thing is we have separatists out there that are talking about, go on TikTok for 5 minutes and look at the people saying, don't shop at white restaurants. Right. Don't shop at white stores, black-only stores. We want black communities.
How hard did their grandparents fight against that exact mentality?
Amen. Then you got Jasmine Crockett talking about the white supremacists.
But obviously, in Trump's America, this is exactly what he wants. And the idea that one person can get out of line and commit such a horrific crime as shooting two National Guardsmen that never, ever asked to be here. In fact, we know the young lady that lost her life, specifically, we're saying that this is a waste of time. But now you want to go against every single immigrant. That doesn't make sense. And it's frankly not who we are, because if that's the case, let's talk about the white supremacists and how many of them need to be kicked out of this country, because I can guarantee you I can track down more crimes that they've committed, because overall immigrants have a lower crime committal rate than white supremacists. But we don't want to talk about that in this country.
There's not a single part of that that's true.
No, where are the white supremacists?
Almost every word out of her mouth was, now don't get me wrong, should I condemn anybody who hates anyone based solely on their color of their skin or their heritage or anything else? But based on their actions, I mean, we're taught not to hate at all, but based on I don't love their actions. Let's put it that way.
Well, and you know what? If you see somebody spreading the word of separation, we should condemn that person. Every time I see somebody saying we need to shop at black-only stores or eat at black-owned restaurants, I just mentioned racist. I just comment racist, because if we do not condemn that, we are no better than them. And it would be the same saying shop at white-owned restaurants. I would be like, damn racist.
Right.
I condemn the KKK every day. Let me just say that. I condemn any
Won't
group
matter.
that thinks that white people are better than any other race.
Amen.
I condemn anybody that thinks that they're better human beings than anybody else.
Well, and honestly, I mean, who in this day and age, I'm sure there's a few, but there's not a lot of just white people.
Well, that's what
I was raised, and my mom always said, "You're Heinz 57. You're a little bit of everything."
As a guy that has procreated, little brown kids, I got to stand up for them too. I got to stand up for everybody. So, KKK, I don't like you, and members of the Black Lives Matters, I don't like you either, because I know what you're about.
Yeah.
I did my own research. I didn't trust, social media.
Black Lives Matter is I mean, there's been enough, thankfully, by now, that most people know what that movement's really about.
Yeah, what they're really, really about. Crazy. All right, 651, be on the Breakfast Club. Thought for the day this morning being brought to you by Wakefield Oil, 40 years of experience serving Southeast New Mexico. Boom or bust, they are there for you. Diesel, gas, DEF, they deliver all in gas and the patch, on-road or off-road. Give them a call today, 622-4160, wakefieldOil.com. Thought for the day is your password has probably locked you out more times than it is locked other people out. This is my thought for the day. Great story this morning. I told Will the story about our buddy Tom. He called me Saturday. I don't know. And maybe this shutdown. I don't know, but my Social Security didn't get to the bank. Oh, my God. I don't know. I don't know. So, anyway, what happened is he had two bank accounts, and he switched the bank account and he didn't remember he switched the bank account. So when he went into the bank, they pulled the paper out, and they go, "Sir, this is when you switch the information." Oh my God.
But someone else, someone was taking his money, or the government did it automatically.
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh, absolutely.
That's funny.
And he was already ready to
cut
him off.
I can't believe they did that.
Condemn them.
Yeah, crazy. All right, we're going to talk about how many truck drivers have been taken off the road. We'll check the text coming up next. Morning show this morning being brought to you by La Tienda Thriftway in Carlsbad. Savings going on right now. They've got fryer thighs and drumsticks, 99 cents a pound. Also, chuck roast, $5.99 a pound. Pork loin for $1.99 a pound. And baby back ribs for $2.97 a pound. Produce department, avocados, 5-count bag for $1.99. Blueberries and blackberries, $1.98 for a container. Also, get tropical mangoes for 99 cents each. And a cluster of tomatoes, just $1.69 a pound. Also, you can always find great specials on everything you need to make sandwiches in the deli department. Start with the split top white bread for $1.58 a loaf. Beef bologna is $6.98 a pound. Also, peppered turkey breast, $7.98 a pound. And salami is $6.48 a pound. They always have the coldest beer in town. And don't forget, they have Pepsi. They got Sprite, Dr. Pepper, and other flavors going on. They've got Coke, Dr. Pepper, and Sprite, $7.98 for a 20-pack. Wow, that's a great deal. Get in there today. They also have Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Big Red, other flavors, 2 12-packs for $12. Get in there to La Tienda in Carlsbad. Don't forget Taco Bar and made from scratch tortillas. Monica in the text.
All right. Tom Lahater said Tom was the 400 pounds that I mentioned.
That's the weight you gained, B. It was Tom.
And Rick Norris still sounds a little upset. Hey, guys, drinking my coffee here, waiting for the Black Friday sales report follow-up from you. American Black Friday sales way up, with credit card debt flying even higher.
I'm sure.
Enjoy the great economy.
What else is new, though? I'm serious. What else is new? People do this every year, max up the credit cards, and then it is the way people have lived for the past 20 years. It's nothing new.
Bean Sandwich says Trump is over the target big time because the palms are not getting greased. Cole Hanlon said, hey, Will, it's good to hear you. I asked this a few months ago, but no one remembered. I think a young Afghanistan person would call in that sounded like Andy Kaufman. I think he talked with you and always had a poem or short story that he read. I think he went by Frankie. Was that real or just part of the show?
Well, it wasn't our show. It was a different show. You're thinking it was the right station. It was on one of our stations. Obviously, we're on 3 right now, but it was on 105. But it was not on this show. It was a different show. But good memory because it was. But you're not going crazy. That actually did happen. It just wasn't on this show.
Mario B said, and hunters, they can buy ammo and rifles there. Okay. Smokey says the main reason kids are wanting socialism is because they've been brainwashed from our public schools and colleges. They think that they will get a bunch of free stuff like medical and all kind of other stuff, but they don't realize they'll have to pay the government 50, 60, 70% of their paychecks just to get all the free crap.
Exactly.
They're so
nothing's free.
Correct. They're so stupid to read a book and see it doesn't work. It never has and never will. And Rocket said, Monica, what's up, Will? The BLM is the new KKK.
Yeah.
In 2015, the KKK in California came out for Hillary marching in a town I seen it in a video. And Pipeliner says, I push we are all Americans. If we would push support just for Americans and stop always bringing up race, that would help. And this person said, I want someone to tell me why they support the illegals so much. It makes no sense to me.
Ask 915 Liberal. I'm sure he'll chime in because
That's his people.
That's his people. That's his people. We're not his people.
Correct. And last one. Biggest fan says, I know in Jal here, a couple of officers got in trouble for wrongful deaths. A guy died in jail. In another incident where 2 or 3 officers evidently went to prison and I was wrongfully searched in my car with a dog. Okay.
Drug sniffing dog.
Texas Tower Dog, speaking of dogs, just chimed in. He said, good morning, breakfast crew. Great to hear you, Will. Luckily this year, I've been able to pay for all of my gifts with cash and not on my credit cards. God bless y'all and have a great day.
Fantastic. Good for you. That's not an easy chore sometimes, especially.
That's it.
I got 1 credit card. No, 2. And the wife's like, we can always put it on the credit card. Yeah, and then we have to pay it off.
Exactly.
And I try like whatever we put on the credit card to pay off monthly.
Exactly.
Sure.
That's the best way to do it.
That's the way you should do it.
But it's too many people, and trust me, I'm fighting with this with some of my family. The instant gratification of I can buy it right now.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. If you ain't got the money, probably don't spend the money.
We've got several Facebook comments that I've actually put up on the screen. So if you're watching on one of our video platforms, number one, thank you. And please do like, follow, subscribe, whatever you can do, wherever you watch it. If it's Rumble, if it's YouTube, if it's Facebook, we're on multiple Facebook pages, the KWS and the W105 Facebook pages. We're on Twitch. We're on Twitter. We're, of course, Twitter now, X. And then Kick. We've got all kinds of stuff. And if you're curious, number one, you can go to W105radio.com, which has all of them up there you can click on easily. But this is just for being the Breakfast Club. But you can also just text the word to 877-396-9105. 877-396-9105. You want to watch YouTube, just text YouTube. You want to watch Facebook, text Facebook. Mm-hmm. You want to watch, X, type Twitter because X is too easy.
Yeah.
So just type Twitter, and it'll send you back the link to any of those feeds, and you can watch this. Now, the 2 safest ones are Rumble and Twitter because those 2 don't kick us off for saying anything.
Right.
YouTube and Facebook, we could be gone for any reason, no telling.
And so, by the way, when you do that, please take the time to befriend us, like us, whatever it is on each different platform, because a lot of people go watch the video but don't take the time to befriend us or become our fan or whatever the heck they want to call it nowadays.
And big shout out, of course, we talk about our radio friends with KDAZ in Albuquerque, KWest FM in Ruidoso, and, of course, KWMW W105 down here in southeast New Mexico. But big shout out to our TV watchers and listeners that are checking us out on 20.1 up in Albuquerque and Santa Fe and the different channels that serve those areas. If you're watching us on TV, you're, of course, welcome to join and call in, text in, 877-396-9105. You can be a part of the show. You can join us. And, of course, you can you don't have to be watching on one of the video platforms to text us or to call us. You can do it on the TV as well. So we appreciate y'all.
Powerball jackpot up to $740 million after no winner over the weekend. So I guess I will switch to I was playing Mega Million, and then problem with Mega Million, Powerball, at least you have a couple $1 million winners every weekend. Mega Millions, the most you could win is 20,000. They give a lot of winners get 20,000 ain't taking me where I need to be. I mean, $1 million, I could do okay with $1 million, but 740 million.
Really? So if someone if I walked up and handed you 20,000 as a bonus, you turn it away?
Yeah. I mean, I'll take it.
I don't want to. Whatever.
I'll take it, but it ain't getting me where I need to be. Nationwide raids nab 250 foreign CDL drivers. Department of Homeland Security warning about cartel. Are the cartels using truck drivers to bring drug? Oh, that's a marriage made in heaven.
Let's see. Does that make any sense whatsoever? Does anybody think that would really happen?
Oh, man.
Wow.
I mean, why would you? No.
Yeah, I had this discussion over the weekend about all these foreign truck drivers. The way they obtained their license was fraudulent from day one.
Mm-hmm.
From day one, you have to be able to speak the language. You have to be able to read and write the language. So I'm glad they're doing this, but at the same time, we need a plan. Also, deporting people, we need a plan. We need American workers to step up and get back to work. We need young people to get into construction. We need young people to get into being welders and truck drivers and all of that stuff.
Well, and I think in this area, that's definitely the case. But I think in, some of the more liberal areas, we definitely need to stop pushing college, always college.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if you want to be a professional and make decent money from the get-go, rather than putting yourself in crazy amounts of debt and then getting a degree that's never going to actually do anything for you, or that's in a market that's so oversaturated it's going to be impossible to find a real position, then go do some jobs that are actually in demand.
I mean, think about this. Plumbers are making more money than doctors.
Yep.
Electricians are making crazy money. Welders are making stupid money.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, there is a demand. Truck drivers. And let me just tell you, with all the illegal truck drivers going away. So back in the day, you were competing. And they were taking, I'm not saying this is the number. They were taking $15 an hour. And you were going in, and the owner of the company is going, well, I can get this guy for $15 an hour. So now your rate is $18 an hour.
Yeah, and there again, try living on $18 an hour in Hobbs.
Right. And then
or Artesia.
Now as they get rid of some of these illegal truck drivers, now you can go in and get $30 an hour. And you know who they need to go after? Not the illegal truck drivers, the business owners that hire these individuals and put them on the road in this death trap, not knowing the laws, not knowing the language. Those are the people they need to go after.
Well, and then we go, who's making money there? Obviously, they are in the short term, but I guarantee you there's some of our lawyer friends that are making some money because of those accidents on the road.
No doubt.
Why do you think there's so many?
No doubt. Owner of a southern New Mexico gun store says that she is now facing unexpected financial problems after her store was broken into. The Skylar Shooting World in Las Cruces says the video shows teenagers using a car to smash into the security gates. They stole more than $2,000 in merchandise. 4 teenagers, ages 14 to 16 years old, burglarized the gun shop on Saturday. Las Cruces police are expected to provide an update on that case today. Man charged with aggravated sexual assault following a DNA investigation. This man out of Midland sexually assaulted a child after police say DNA linked him to the 14-year-old daughter's pregnancy. Midland man now facing aggravated sexual assault against a girl that is young as 14. And he admitted to being the father of his 14-year-old daughter's unborn child and claimed the pregnancy resulted in the teenager artificially inseminating herself.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
From a discarded condom she found in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, because
Yes.
because if that would happen, do you know how many people would save on in vitro fertilization if they could
Thank
just
you.
do it like
Thank
I'm
you.
just saying.
A turkey baster.
Yeah.
Yeah, a turkey
And
baster.
what 14-year-old is already thinking like
well,
that?
and
wanting...
the other thing is that that doesn't stay fertile very long. The swimmers are dying off fairly quick.
No, they die in air pretty quick.
Yeah. So, 14-year-old student told counselor she was pregnant, but initially claimed the father was a boy named Juan that she met playing soccer and has since moved to Mexico. Upon further investigation, Juan was not the baby daddy, and her father was the baby daddy. State Department warning the UK over grooming, gang bangers, and unspeakable defense. Trump administration criticizing the UK for the handling of mass migration and long-running gang rape scandals, that these individuals would gang rape only white girls. And so, not good. UK, by the way, is admitted to some of this, but most of the men that were involved in the gang rapes came from Pakistan. And Emerge training. Radical judge gives Santa Fe a green light targeting gun owners. So Santa Fe passed a brand new initiative, 7-2, to be able to control your guns in Santa Fe. And remember the name Emerge. This past election, Emerge New Mexico made news again over radical individuals running for school boards and city councils and that type of stuff. Emerge New Mexico is a radical far-left organization, and their goal is to infiltrate school boards, city councils. We had one of them in Lovington. We had one of them in Roswell. And so Emerge New Mexico we now have a Emerge judge, and the judge has made her way all the way from serving, as a county commissioner, now a judge, far left, very, very far left. But Santa Fe will be able to institute their own gun laws in Santa Fe. And a train collision leaves a pedestrian dead in Las Cruces. No details coming up. That happened on Wednesday at 2 p.m. And America's most popular cooking oil may be linked to obesity. If you are using this cooking oil, I would say stop using the cooking oil. So we know soybean oil is not good for you. And this just came out. New study says that it could have a direct link to obesity. So canola oil, also not good. Good old vegetable oil. No oil is really good for you, but I'll take some vegetable oil over canola oil. Mm-hmm. We used to use the canola. I was like, get that out of here. I ain't using that. That stuff is terrible.
But next week we'll see a study where it's all good for you.
Oh, yeah. It's all good for you. All right, let's get updated with the price of oil this morning, being brought to you by A Custom Construction and Roofing. Roofing and insured specialist, licensed, bonded, and insured. Veteran-owned and operated for 30-plus years. A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. They've been around for 30-plus years. They can come up with a free estimate. Pretty much all of your ideas. Yeah, they do roofing, but they do construction. Call Dwayne Pennick today, 575-318-9725. A Custom Construction and Roofing, warning you about the out-of-town out-of-state, unlicensed contractors, when they're gone, your warranty is also gone. 709, Will.
Yeah. I know you pulled it up earlier. Do you still have it pulled up? Because I never had it. So.
Price hold this morning is I'm waiting on this thing to...
Sorry, B.
All right, what's up with my internet up in here? All right, I'll come back to the...
Here we go. I think we've got it up.
All right, okay.
So, and unfortunately, I can't...
5792, it just... update on West Texas Intermediate crude 57.92, Brent 62.40, natural gas 4.53 this morning. So it looks like all oil and gas prices are down this morning. Brent and West Texas crude. Monica and the Tex, keep us updated.
Frank in the Patch says the deceiving Democrats want to destroy our country. Smokey says, fire up the damn wood chipper. Guarantee they will not reoffend ever again. I am so sick and tired of hearing about these rape and sexual assaulting of
Me
the
too.
kids every day. And it seems like it's getting closer and closer to the act. Like the people that are doing it to the kids are getting closer and closer to them. It's no longer like strangers that are abducting kids. Do you know what I mean? Like it's in their home.
I unfortunately, I think that's been the case for a long time. And there's certain cultures where it's worse than others.
True.
But I mean, there again, I hate to point out that Ian Omar, marrying her brother.
Yeah.
And that, but there's a lot there, and they've proven this. There's a lot of incest in Somali families.
Oh.
A lot of incest in Afghanistan families. And I hate to say it, but there's a decent amount, and we probably all know Hispanic family members who have been accused of molestation or family rape or whatever else. So there's a decent amount in Hispanic families too. Not to say that the redneck white families aren't immune, because I'm sure there's some folks that.
I'd like to introduce you to my
No, yes,
sister
and my cousin.
my girlfriend.
Now, and even though we're joking about it, it's
No. You're right. It probably has been happening for a very long time, especially with other.
Certain areas it's more socially acceptable, which that needs to change.
I mean, go to
Yes.
Campwood, Texas.
Where is Campwood?
In the hill country. Deep in the hill.
Well, I mean, what do you? All you got to do is your
Oh,
sister
Lord.
and meth.
not-
That's about it.
It's not.
I'm
It's not.
serious.
It's not my. It's not my first cousin.
Oh,
so I mean,
gosh.
that's all that matters.
Just a reminder, Emmitt Smith is an all-time leading rusher.
He is still to this day.
And Steve B said, have you guys seen the documentary of the Russian KGB agent that was arrested here in the U.S. in the 70s? When interrogated, he admitted that Russia could never beat the U.S. in combat, but the way they would destroy the U.S. was through our high schools and colleges, basically by slowly introducing communism. I haven't heard Will's voice in a while. Missed you, man, said Jaron from Lovington.
Thank you, sir.
Congrats to the Artesia Bulldogs winning title number 33.
Man, they're on the. This is not just a state record. Nationally, they're ranked in the top 10.
There's definitely a football culture in Artesia, no question.
Absolutely. Jody from Lovington said, good to hear you on the radio, Will.
Thank you, Jody.
And Justin sent in a picture of a headline. A Muslim family tied up and drowned their teenage daughter for adopting a Western lifestyle. Did you cover that yet?
I got that story.
Okay, we'll talk
Sad.
about that later. Oh, gosh. And Patricia from West Odessa said, good to hear your voice, Mr. Will. If police but the illegal out of service, how do we know they don't get back into another truck? A girl on Facebook said an illegal hit her truck and took off, and she chased him down, found out he was already put out of service, and back in a truck again.
There's a lot of people that just drive without their licenses. I mean, that's there again.
Well, that's why you have to go after the companies.
We get annoyed about getting pulled over or having a traffic stop or having random checkpoints. But honestly, I mean, they serve a purpose to get some of these folks off the road.
Correct. That editor chick said, I'm consistently impressed that Dems forget that there's other colors of people other than just black and white, unless they're using them to their own ends.
Oh, of course.
Frank in the Patch said the Democrats hate facts and free thinkers. John Brennan converted to Islam. And another texter asks, how are you doing, Will? How are you feeling?
when you've got 3 days a week of dialysis, 2 days a week of cardiac rehab, it becomes a challenge. But I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be getting better and better. And I've got kidney transplant testing to start next month or January. Yeah, it is next month. It's the first. Yeah. So next month I start the kidney testing, and so God willing, that'll go well, and I'll be able to next year some point be able to get the transplant. Now, like I said, I've started the process. I did this last time, got approved, and then everything went downhill real fast. So I don't count my chickens till they've hatched.
Yeah, no doubt. Running late this morning being brought to you by Eric at Pops Power Washing. Get in touch with Eric today. They can get out there and clean up oil field equipment, the spills, take care of your fleet. 575-704-0330. Rest assured, on time, gets the job done. So if your power washing person is not showed up and you need somebody, call Eric this morning. 11 years and never late. Unlike us, 11 years and never late. 575-704-0330. All right, I've been yelling and screaming about this. The number one way to stop the illegal is to stop the money from going back to the country of origin.
Remittance.
That's what they're planning. They've been listening to the damn show. 4 people taken to the hospital in Andrews following a shooting, and Trump suggesting that Ilhan Omar should be thrown out of the country for claiming that she married her brother. We'll get into all of that and the story about the Muslim dad and his son drowned the teenage girl for adopting the Western culture. This is not the first time that this has happened. And Kim Kardashian making some surprising news this morning. We'll dive down into that coming up next. News this morning being brought to you by our buddies at the Twin Wells Fuel Station. Driving this morning on 128. If you're driving between Jowl and Carlsbad and you need fuel, exit on Buck Jackson Road. Go down less than 3 miles. They're open to the public. Large facility. It's covered. If we get rain in the forecast, not a problem. It's a covered area. Unleaded, green diesel, red diesel, DEF. Twin Wells Fuel Station, accepting credit cards, debit cards, and fleet cards right off of 128 on Buck Jackson Road. Be safe on the road from the Twin Wells Fuel Station. 717, we're B and the Breakfast Club, KWMW Maljamar, 105.1 FM. You can also find us at KWES 93.5 in Rio Doso and KDAZ AM 700 and FM 96.9 in Albuquerque.
Stop shop for all of your medication needs. Whether you're under the weather or just need your med refills while you're on the road, Oilfield, we're talking to you. The team at Michaels can get you filled and on your way. With 4 locations serving Lee County, it's guaranteed hometown service with a smile you can count on. Michaels Prescription Corner is located in Lovington, Hobbs, Eunice, and now open in Chow. Visit michaelsrxcorner.com for all location information or simply download their app to submit your refills today. Michaels Prescription Corner, proudly serving all of Lee County.
Ladies, is your eyesight causing frustration every morning while applying makeup? Are you holding a cheap, distorted mirror up to the window trying your best to see? At Last, there's a better way. At Last Lighted Mirror and Grooming Tool. Men, this is for you too. Sharpen up your mustache, goatee, or beard, because ladies love a well-groomed man. Local inventor Rebecca Long spent 5 years researching and designing the At Last Lighted Mirror and Grooming Tool. It has rechargeable LED lighting, 1, 5, and 10 times magnification mirrors, all in one for home and travel use. It comes with a USB charging cord, travel case, a 30-day money-back guarantee, and 1-year limited warranty. This is a must-see, so drop by 226 West Vega in Hobbs today for a free demonstration. Order online at AtLastMakeupMirror.com or call 575-631-3189 today.
Hey, nice job, Pete. I like those clean lines. Fellas, do we have anyone that can get to Greenport today?
At Corey's Landscaping, the staffing plan is in the weeds.
Anthony, we need that leaf blower over here. 3 more new customer requests just came in. Who wants to work some overtime?
He needs to dig up quality landscapers and fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. You'll find exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 50% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Knowledge, integrity, and trustworthiness are just part of what makes Roach's Air Conditioning and Heating the choice for your next HVAC job. With 15 plus years in business, Roach's Air Conditioning and Heating trains its techs with the requirements and standards of all the major ductless companies, servicing residential and commercial as well as industrial units for the patch. Roach's Air Conditioning and Heating is fully licensed, bonded, and insured in the state of New Mexico. They can even offer new technology like inverter-driven heat pump systems to upgrade old systems, and financing is available. Call 575-631-1999 to schedule your appointment today. That's 631-1999 for Roach's Air Conditioning and Heating.
This holiday season, skip the long lines and crowded big box stores and shop local right here in Hobbs, New Mexico. From charming boutiques to handcrafted gifts and holiday treasures, Hobbs has everything you need to check off your list and support your neighbors while you do it. After a day of holiday shopping, eat local. Cozy up with comfort food, festive drinks, and hometown flavors you'll love. Make a weekend of it. Stay at one of Hobbs's welcoming hotels and enjoy a relaxing holiday escape without ever leaving town. And don't forget to play. From festive lights to family fun, there's always something magical happening in Hobbs this season. Eat, shop, stay, and play local this holiday season and make it a Hobbs holiday to remember. For more information on Hobbs Chamber members and their holiday events and sales, you can always go to hobbschamber.org or find them on Facebook.
This show is powered by Permian Ford. Stop by and see Daniel Vellis today.
Wake up, little Susie, wake up.
What happens in the Breakfast Club stays in the Breakfast Club.
Be and the Breakfast Club.
Attention!
What a beautiful day to be in denial.
This is not headline news. It's Cyber Monday. Possibly the last one where people will enjoy spending their money before AI takes their jobs. Zootopia 2 opened at number 1 at the box office. If you'd like to see talking animals without going to the movies, take mushrooms. Diddy served Thanksgiving meals to fellow inmates. The only catch is that they weren't allowed to ask what made the turkey so juicy. And a city in Alaska will let residents vote on their smartphones. And you can see it already. The winner of the election is Candy Crush. This is not headline news.
I thought that game went away forever.
No.
Candy
Oh, no.
Crush.
No, it's still there.
Oh, my goodness. And people, well, I had to pay to get to the next level.
Well, yeah, I had, I wanted to beat so-and-so.
I've heard that before. I had to pay. Well, if you got to pay, isn't that defeating the purpose? I mean, I like gambling the old-fashioned way.
Well, and there again, at least with gambling, there's a chance of actually getting something back. Like if you're at the casino, at least you have a chance to win something on your games. When you pay for that, it's just in the ether. It's gone.
Yeah. I am excited to find out tonight who is going to the college championship. Texas might get in, even though they've got 3 games that they've lost. They might get out. I'll take Texas over Notre Dame. I think Texas has played a tougher schedule.
Not
and
a
being
Fighting
able
Irish
to,
fan?
By the way, anybody that is a A&M fan this morning, I do apologize. Take a deep breath. See, this is what I talked about a couple weeks ago when I said you guys haven't won before, and you were like, you guys were stoked. I get it, but. Yeah, I'll take Texas over Notre Dame. So here's the way I think the SEC will have 4 teams. I believe Texas Tech gets in. I think Texas will get in. I think it will come down to Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas and Texas A&M. 5 teams in. So no real big upsets besides Texas A&M going down in flames. I shouldn't have said it like that.
No, you probably shouldn't have.
Sorry about that.
Just disclaimer, this is an LSU fan talking.
Yeah. Thank God we got another coach. $90 million contract. Lane Kiffin signs the contract yesterday. Press conference this morning at, I think, 9 o'clock. So the way that went down is just ugly. There's no way there was no good way to walk away. Now, they wouldn't allow him to meet with his team because they said he would poach players. That's only going to happen later. I think it's sad that you are able to coach and then you can't coach in the playoffs, but it is the nature of the beast, the way college football is nowadays. You get them to the playoffs, but you don't get to play. You don't get to coach them. It's just sad. So tonight, the big show to find out if Texas gets in or Texas dive. Texas A&M is in no matter what. Texas is in. Look, the University of New Mexico has had a great year. They're not getting in the playoffs,
no.
but
that's not surprising.
But they've had an awesome year. Looks like a Maryland man has now facing charges allegedly pulling a gun on 3 12-year-old girls singing Christmas carols outside of his home. Look, I get it. The girls were singing about joy to the world, and the man responded, Jingle Bell Glock.
That's so sad.
Oh.
Yeah, they'll definitely skip his house next year for Halloween, too.
Oh, no question. Giving that house a wide berth.
Oh, yeah. And Delta plane landed in Detroit, skid off the runway during a storm in Des Moines, Iowa, and skid right off the runway. Everybody's safe and sound. So that hasn't happened, about 6 months? Count your blessings. And America First pricing coming to the country's national parks. Foreigners will pay a higher price than America. Before you say anything, other countries do the same thing.
Well, of course they do. Okay, I'm sorry. Do we get discounts for local tuition for in-state tuition? So is that wrong? No, it's not wrong. Shouldn't Americans get a discount if they're in America? If they're citizens?
Of course.
I mean, if you're coming from another area, there's going to be there has to be an advantage to being a citizen.
When I'm in the Philippines, I pay more for going to resorts.
Oh, you paid more for everything when you're going to the Philippines because you're the white man.
Yeah, long nose. They call that the long nose discount.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because Filipinos' noses are all like this.
Well, if there's not an Asian country on the planet, if they see any white in your skin, you're getting an immediate increase.
Yep. Researchers have found the Atlantic gray seal milk is more chemically complex than human breast milk. Thank you. I had to know that information. By the way, if you drink the gray seal milk, they said it will boost your human immune and gastro health. I'm just not down with the seal's milk.
The Star Wars nerd in me is just going the blue milk thing from. I just can't. I'm
down with it.
Baby seals are cute and all, but no seal milk.
So putting America first, you get in cheaper than everybody else at the national parks. But I've been saying this for years, specifically about Mexico. But if Mexico does not want to play ball with us, the number one form of money in Mexico comes from America. Remittance from America back to Mexico.
Of course.
So if you would just put a tax on money leaving the country, I'm talking about 0.5% tax, and I would pay the tax too. If I send money to the Philippines,
obviously you do. If we send money to the Philippines, and that's your money,
but we should tax that money because that money is leaving the country. that money's leaving the country, we should tax money that is leaving the country. Lots of countries do that. But Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced on Friday the Trump administration has begun moving to cut illegal aliens from be able to send federal tax benefits and money transfers out of the country.
Well, absolutely, especially if they're illegal. I mean, if they're working here legally, they have a green card, everything else. And do I agree that there should be a tax? Well, there's taxes for everything else, so yes. But and there again, their money when it gets to the Philippines, when it gets to Mexico, when it gets to wherever it's going, goes a lot further. So that
definitely,
like you said, a 1% is it's not going to slow down the money.
I mean, a 0.5% tax on all money leaving the country seems to be a good idea, but this is going directly against people that are working in the country illegally and filing income taxes, are getting tax returns and that type of stuff, and earned income credit. Do you know people that live in Mexico that people working here from Mexico can actually claim earned income credit and dependents on kids in Mexico?
Oh, my gosh.
You know, I have fought this. I've written our congressman because they are the only country that is allowed in. So kids in the Philippines, I can't claim them as dependents. God, I wish I would. I would invent more. But how do you check on these people they're claiming as dependents in Mexico?
You know, then they talk about the rich that have all the tax loopholes and all the tax benefits because they can afford to pay the tax lawyers. Well, agreed. But there's no question there's some of that. But I'm not happy with how much the government steals from us, so I think we should probably try to get as much as we can. But what about the people who are here illegally that are doing just as much fraud as anybody?
Why are we giving earned income credit to kids outside the country?
We should.
And if you do, you should allow all countries to do that.
Yep.
Not just one. Not just one. And if you don't believe me on that, look it up. I think Canada also. Canada and Mexico, the only two countries where you can get kids, claim them as dependents, get earned income credit outside the United States.
Wow.
So look it up. Crazy. And when you do your taxes, the reason I know this, when I do my taxes, it asks if you have any kids living outside the United States. I checked yes.
Okay.
Sorry, they're not in Canada or Mexico. Look that up. If you don't believe me, look it up.
But if they were, you would be.
I would be getting in, and I would invent a couple other. Because how are you going to find out? How are you going to find out they don't have Social Security cards? You don't think there's fraud there?
Oh, absolutely there is. There's fraud anywhere that there can be possible fraud, and a lot of people do it. But I think that we should be cracking down on the folks who are not here in the country legally first.
Right. You know, I think the best way to handle this is to tax on everything we buy.
Yeah, just have a flat tax.
Flat tax.
Yep.
On everything we purchase.
And get rid of income tax.
Flat tax, we'd have more money, and that way every pimp, prostitute, illegal drug dealer, they're all paying taxes now.
Sure.
We'd have more money than we know what to do with. It's never going to happen, though.
No.
Never going to happen. 4 people taken to the hospital after a shooting in Andrews, Texas, according to the Post by the Andrews County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. Friday afternoon, 4 people taken to the hospital after a shooting. Deputies arrived. They found the 4 people and called EMS. Shortly after that, 2 of the injured were placed in custody, and a 3rd suspect was taken into custody. Texas Rangers are now looking into this whole matter. President Trump suggesting Ilhan Omar should be thrown out of the country over claims that she married her brother, which would be abuse. It would be abuse when it comes to, she brought her brother into the country via the immigration as a spouse. Mm-hmm. She married her brother to get him in the country.
Well, then she broke the law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a Muslim dad and his sons allegedly drowned their teenage sister and daughter over her Western lifestyle. She refused to wear a headscarf. And because of that, they drowned to death. Now, if you go back 20 years, there was a case of a father that killed in Houston. He killed both his daughters because they would not live the Muslim way.
I remember that.
And they
story.
started dating men outside of the Muslim religion.
And then he killed himself, right?
No, he actually went to prison, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Well, he didn't think he did anything wrong.
yeah,
Right.
no. The body of the woman, the Syrian woman, found submerged in a lake with her hands and feet bound tightly.
Can you imagine if getting murdered like that anyway is going to be horrific, but knowing that your own family did it?
Oh, now look, I get it. I mean, I grew up as a Catholic with lots of kids in our family, and my dad had rules that you're going to live in my house, but he never drowned me.
Yeah.
He never drowned me. He never did that crazy stuff. Never drowned me. But Ian Omar, we'll get to Ian Omar coming up in just a second. And deportations. Deportations. Should we deport more people? Yeah, we should deport more people. The bad, yeah, we should go after them first. Most definitely. CNN over the weekend, here's what they were talking about.
But obviously, in Trump's America, this is exactly what he wants. And the idea that one person can get out of line and commit such a horrific crime as shooting.
I played that
There is
one.
a lot of hate in this country for Muslims. There's a lot of hate in this country for.
I played that one. Hold on. Here is Ian Omar. Here's Ian Omar talking about the. She'll talk about the president, but here is Ian Omar talking about Muslim hate in this country.
There is a lot of hate in this country for Muslims. There's a lot of hate in this country for black people, especially black women. And there is a lot of hate, severe hate for immigrants. And so I fit them all. She knows that she can easily raise money and get support for her bigotry from her bigoted, the bigoted people who want to give money to her campaign. But the reality is, in this country, the First Amendment does not only protect speech, it protects the right and liberty for anybody to practice their faith.
So I have a question. If there's so much hate in America, why would people come here?
Well, here's my question. I'm sorry. I would imagine we could probably find 20 different cuts of Ian Omar saying that white Christian men are the
biggest threat to America
and are the evilest. Oh,
yeah.
And I'm sure she has nothing but nice things to say about Christians, right?
No.
So there's no hate. So she's pointing out all the hate that there is against random groups, which I see a lot more hate against white Christians.
Yep.
Or Christians, period.
And then she responds to the president about the president when the president said we should deport her. Listen to what she said.
That the members of Congress have not educated, they're an uneducated president about how things work in Congress.
Well, poor little Somali girl came here, lived in refugee camps, which turned out to be nothing but a bunch of BS. Her family was part of the ruling party in Somalia.
Oh, wow.
They weren't poor.
Oh, wow.
They weren't poor. Uneducated Americans. I don't know if you heard that.
Oh, yeah.
Uneducated Americans. President probably shouldn't say he's going to deport. She's a citizen now.
No, and there's a lot of things he shouldn't say that he does. And on some level, there's part of me that gets a kick out of it.
Yeah, me too.
But by the same stamp, I mean, because honest, they're going to say whatever the hell they want to say on MSNBC and CNN,
But
and whether it's true or not.
There is a part of me that thinks that if you weren't born in America, you should not be able to hold public office.
I agree.
I don't disagree.
That if you were not born in America, you shouldn't be in public office. You are dead. I mean, you can't become president, so you shouldn't be able to be in federal office.
Federal office.
Federal office.
Now, state
and local,
city,
I'd be okay.
Yeah.
But it would prevent you. So if you came over, it doesn't matter if you came over here the right way. You came over here the right way, okay. But you're never going to be able to serve in federal office. We've got perfect examples of why that should never happen.
Mm-hmm.
Ian Omar,
Yeah.
Talib, the list goes on and on. Back in 2021, Ted Cruz made a statement. I think it's come back. I think he was spot on.
And the Biden administration apparently doesn't care if these are adult men with little girls who they are sexually assaulting. The vetting is so half-assed that there is a very real risk that if even one or two jihadis are in the mix, that we could see a suicide bomb like we saw in Afghanistan, but in an American mall or restaurant.
Wow. He's not wrong.
No.
When the vetting is not there, that is the problem.
Well, and like you said, if only one or two come through, there's a decent chance. And luckily, there's a lot of but our law enforcement and Homeland Security and all these other are working overtime and FBI to get some of this stuff stopped.
Well, we know that there are 200 plus individuals that came across on the terrorist watch list that Biden allowed into the country.
Well, how much harder did we make law enforcement's job by doing stuff like that?
Ridiculous. So Kristi Noem says we are going to vet these individuals. Here's what she had to say.
Information that was gathered by the Biden administration that wasn't thorough. And so now we're completely changing that since President Trump has been in the White House and since I've been at DHS. We're using biometric information. We're using those social media platforms and looking at what they're saying and doing and making sure that we have a government, when a country is sending us someone, we have a government that is stable in that country that can actually share information with us. How do we vet someone that comes from Afghanistan or Somalia or Yemen if they...
So she's spot on because those countries don't keep up with everything. Somebody comes from Mexico, you can kind of look at Interpol and investigate, but if they come from Somalia, there are no records. How do we know we're getting the right people? We don't.
Or that the records aren't fraudulent completely.
Yeah, we don't. All right, coming up, I got a lot of things to get to. Gabe Vasquez from Congressional District 2 talking about immigration, something he evidently knows nothing about. We'll dive into that coming up in just a second. 7:42. Also, Kim Kardashian shocked to learn how low her brain activity is. Well, I wasn't surprised. She was surprised.
I was going to say.
We'll get to that up next. 7:42 morning show being brought to you by North Star Laundry. One-stop shop for all your laundry. They can take care of you. North Star can wash, dry, and fold your clothes, dry clean them, press them, starch them, drop them off, pick them up a couple days later. Can you imagine living a life not having to worry about laundry? You just drop it off, pick it up. Then when you get home, you have to put everything away.
Yeah.
But as far as spending the entire weekend washing and drying and folding, man, you can kiss all of that stuff goodbye at North Star Laundry. Check them out. They've got 3 locations, coin-operated machines at all 3 of their locations, open 7 days a week. 609 West Lee, Carlsbad, 604 West Church, Carlsbad, 406 West Cedar, and Loving. Check them out today. 747, Monica.
Skinny Randy said those child predators need to be castrated and put on display. Frank in the Patch said the globalists, along with Islam, hate Christians. They want to destroy the good old USA. Jeff Rose said, why does she raise the pitch of her voice at the end of every sentence? I hate that. I think he was talking about Ian Omar. And Rocket said, Monica, going clubbing in Alaska just hits.
It's a little different.
And Dennis from Orla said, OU is in the playoffs. And Patricia from West Odessa.
Yes, I left OU out. Yes.
Patricia from West Odessa said, Kevin, I play 2 Candy Crush games, and I don't pay for any level.
You're good.
Good.
And Beth, I will get with Will when we go to our next break and ask him if that's something that we can share on our page. It needs to be asked before shared. And that's it for the text line.
All right, it looks like Kim Kardashian shocked to learn about how low her activity of her brain is. We weren't surprised. I will give credit where credit is due. The Kardashians are great marketers. They really are. I mean, they marketed her their plastic surgery-induced rear end like nobody else, for sure. But Kim Kardashian saying that she was quite surprised about the low activity of her brain and discovered that possibly, she said, she had a brain bleeder. I don't believe that. If you have an aneurysm, you're unless they go in there and do surgery, you're probably going to die.
Well, I think, just like your muscles, if you don't use them, they tend to not be very strong.
Oh, gotcha.
I read a little bit of the story, and I saw that they discovered holes in her brain. But my thing is, what initially happened that she needed to go to the doctor to be examined? That's what I want to know.
And I'm sure she's never done any party drugs. Not Kim Kardashian.
Probably not. Probably not.
So I'm sure she's, she has a perfectly healthy lifestyle.
Oh, I'm sure. Looks like new House oversight video shows aides admitting they propped Joe Biden up after the decline.
No.
Oh, no. While Americans were recovering from Thanksgiving food comas, we discovered that Joe Biden had been in a coma for years. House Oversight Committee exposing the auto pen president and discovering that they propped him up. Aides. People ought to go to prison for this.
Well, no question.
And if you're driving in Texas this morning, new Texas law, move over, slow down. Yeah, here's part of the deal. By the way, driving for 2 consecutive days, I discovered that people don't know how to drive. By the way, slow traffic, move over to the right-hand side of the lane. Get out of traffic on the left-hand side of the lane. I can't tell you how many people I flipped off over the weekend.
Oh, B.
Be a road rager? No.
I will pass them and I'll go. Move over. So Texas Transportation Public Safety officials are renewing their call for drivers to slow down and move over for roadside workers after a new state law expands that protection. By the way, you can get a $4,000 fine if they're doing work and you do not slow down and move over to the next lane.
That's a hefty fine.
Well, but
$4,000 fine.
Endangering people's lives.
Amen. Amen. And 2 people dead in a plane crash in Alamogordo. Law enforcement confirming the identities of those 2 people that died in that plane crash on Wednesday near Alamogordo. New Mexico State Police spokesperson saying that Patrick Chung and Ralph Gurin died in that crash. Chung was the owner of that aircraft. And President Trump has made it very clear we're not going to send troops in to Venezuela. Not going to happen. He would like the leader to step down. This happened on CNN State of the Union. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen said the president has made it very clear we're not going into Venezuela. We're not going into Venezuela. We're not going to be part of that. And he would love for Maduro to step down, but we're not sending troops. Thank God for that. I don't want American men and women fighting other people's war. Done with that.
Kevin, did we have the story about the elderly couple in East Texas in Lubbock that disappeared? Because that was what Beth had shared on Facebook.
No, I did not see that.
The Texas Department of Public Safety has issued a silver alert, and law enforcement in both states are actively assisting in the search. Family and community members are asking the public from Lubbock to Amarillo to eastern New Mexico to keep watch for a couple in their vehicle. Even a small detail could help investigators narrow down their direction. Anyone who spots Gary or Linda or their vehicle is urged to call 911. And then let me see what we've got. It's a new update. According to family updates, the couple was last physically seen in the panhandle of Texas before their silver 2024 Toyota Camry, but gosh, unfortunately, very common car, plate TWN 0925, was scanned into the San Juan, I'm sure it's supposed to be San Juan, New Mexico, around 8:30 p.m. on November 28th. They spelled it Jon, though. Their vehicle was later spotted in Santa Rosa, but local authorities have not yet been able to find the car or the couple. Concerns obviously continue to grow as the couple's limited resources. Gary's on oxygen. A dependent travels with an oxygen tank. Neither Gary or Linda have a cell phone with them, as they were both left in Lubbock. Nighttime temperatures dropping below the freezing in the area. I mean, obviously a lot of concerns. So
Sure.
keep an eye out for that 2024 Toyota Camry. Again, TWN.
Probably one of the most popular cars.
Yep. Texas plate TWN 0925.
Wow. Massachusetts man accused of beating his parents and then setting their house on fire. Darius Hazard, 44 years old, charged of murder and arson after beating his 76-year-old father and 83-year-old mother and then setting the living room on fire. And when police got there, he said, I guess I just snapped.
I guess I just snapped.
Here's his mugshot.
Oh, bro.
Looks like there's more to that.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. And ahead of ICE raids in New Orleans, by the way, they just got control of the police department in New Orleans back from the feds. And this woman, who is their police chief, by God, here we go again. Another police chief that has never been in law enforcement. An appointee.
Police chief should not be a political office.
No. Anyway, New Orleans, by the way, if you're thinking about going to New Orleans for the holiday, I steer clear when I go to Louisiana of New Orleans. It is a cesspool of crime.
This is a Cajun talking.
It is a cesspool, but the police department superintendent and Kirkpatrick made waves earlier this week by stating illegal migration by foreign nationals in the United States is a civil issue, and she's telling ICE to stay out of New Orleans.
A civil issue.
A civil issue. Civil. Did you see all the protests going on in New York City, Chicago, all over the place? It's time to break out the water cannons. Europe has started breaking out the cannons again, water cannons.
Well, it's non-lethal, right?
It's non-lethal. But, I mean, in Chicago, when it's 10 below, I think it's perfect.
Oh,
Me.
with the windy city with water cannons,
I think it's perfect.
It may be non-lethal, but that's definitely a deterrent.
I think it is. It is great. I think this time of the year would be perfect. And in Mexico, out of Mexico, the story about 40-hour work weeks. They've been promised 40-hour work weeks for a long time. 40-hour work weeks. Some people working 72 hours a week just to make ends meet. Supposedly, Mexican Congress is setting to reduce work hours from 48 hours a week to 40 hours a week. And here in the United States, we're like, 35 hours a week sounds good.
32. I've been here for 32.
Oh, 32. 32. So they're going to 40 hours a week.
It's got to be rough.
40 hours a week. So a lot of people applauding that. They've been 48 hours a week since 1970. So they're dropping that down. When we return, we'll hear about President Trump calling Tim Walz names. We'll talk about that. And man gets his 5th DUI in Santa Fe. Yeah, he might be going to jail. Yeah. Maybe.
Oh, well,
maybe.
Not for long.
Maybe. We'll get into that coming up in just a second. Our number, of course, 877-396-W105. We're the station always keeping you updated with everything going on. Special guests coming up this morning. Congressman Steve Pearce will be in, talking about a brand new book that he has written. We'll get to the congressman coming up in a second. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Rig Outfitters and Hobbs. They've got you covered. Staying warm. They have FR jackets, $129.99. FR hoodies, $79.99. Plus winter gear if you're looking for winter gear. FR or non-FR apparel. They've got you covered with insulated gloves, heated jackets, thermal vest, and, of course, bib overalls and coveralls and some of those that are insulated, and portable heaters to keep your job site toasty. They've got all of that at Rig Outfitters in the Broadmoor Mall in Hobbs. Of course, in the home store, they have furniture, appliances, electronics. They've got $99 boots, a pair of boots for $99. Check them out today. It's Rig Outfitters and the home store in the Broadmoor Mall in Hobbs. Check them out and stay warm from Rig Outfitters. And right next door is Scrub Outfitters in Ward, now carrying infant and kids apparel. They've got everything from newborns to size 7. And if you're still looking for scrubs, yes, they have scrubs. They have all the big name brands and, of course, your compression socks, comfy shoes. And for the little ones, they've got warm coats and cozy sweaters. Looking for a Christmas outfit for the baby, they've got you covered. Scrub Outfitters next to Rig Outfitters in the Broadmoor Mall.
This texter said, why wouldn't the Ole Miss coach just wait until after the season to announce he was leaving so that he could still be able to coach his team?
Well, because he wouldn't get the job. Because recruiting started last week. And it's all about your recruiting class and being number 1 or top 10 in recruiting. So the NCAA set up this, and it is a disaster. This ain't a Lane Kiffin. This ain't an LSU problem. This is a NCAA issue.
And Junebug said it is San Jone, New Mexico, pronounced Hone on the interstate close to Tucumcari.
I stand corrected.
And Chicky Pow Pow said, yes, there is a San Jone near Santa Rosa. Or, yeah.
San John?
San John.
San Jone.
I wonder, is it the same thing? They're spelled the same.
I'm sure it's San Jone. But they even still, it's like Bexar County or Bexar County or anything else. There's weird spelling.
Well, hell, right here in New Mexico, we got people that can't even spell Chavez County.
Well, in certain areas it's the Llano. In certain areas it's the Llano. Right across the border in Texas. It's just,
Yes. This texter said, I just love the way B says Massachusetts.
You love it?
Say it one more time for them.
I got your Massachusetts right here.
This texter sent in a picture of Bob Barker on The Price is Right. And the meme says, help control the idiot population. Have your Democrats spayed and neutered. Y'all, am I the only one that found it funny?
I found it funny.
Yeah.
I guess because I was looking right at it. And that is actually all for the text line. Is there anything on Facebook, Will?
I mean, we've had several comments, obviously.
Okay.
We had several on there talking about, how about them Cowboys?
Cowboys actually a big win Thanksgiving Day.
Big win.
So of course, there's been, lots of talk about the Bulldogs. Can't say enough about Artesia, and congrats to them, obviously, and condolences to the Coyotes, no question.
And, for our question of the day, it is, of course, how much time will you spend shopping on Cyber Monday? Jen said, none. I'm done. And I replied, wow. I don't know about time, but I know how much money I'll be spending. And how did you manage to already be done, Jen?
I need to figure out. My phone charged all night, and it's at 27%. It's been...
How many apps do you have running?
None.
Well, but there again,
it got overheated. Going, and it was just plugged in. It wasn't hot, and
there's lots of things that shorten battery memory.
Sure.
I tell my youngest all the time because he is obsessive compulsive about charging his phone, and it's like, Dad, it's at 95%. I have to charge my phone. I was like, no, actually, you don't.
Not that big of a deal.
I can hear him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He totally. He's.
Oh, bless his heart.
Yeah.
If it drops below 10%, uncharged, like if it's at 90, he's stressed.
Now I got to charge this thing always. All right. Let me do a quick check of the weather. Then we'll get to things that happened on this date in history. Taking out the trash. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Seminole Siding and Construction, trusted name across Southeast New Mexico. If you're looking for siding or brand new roof or maybe a metal building, they can handle all of that from start to finish. Seminole Siding and Construction offering a comprehensive solution for all your construction needs. Don't settle for anything less. Look, they came out, finished our big carport. It's like a 6-bay. The job was done, after they poured the cement.
Well, they had to let it dry.
Yeah, I mean, like a day and a half.
Oh, they
came out
busted
here.
It out.
Yeah,
and
and it's awesome.
It's sturdy.
Yeah, it is steel.
It has to be in this eastern New Mexico wind.
Yeah, it's steel. Give them a call today, 575-391-1430. Check out the work at Seminole Siding and Construction.com. Snow in the forecast next Thursday, this coming Thursday. That's what they're saying. 57 and sunny outside right now, below freezing again tonight for southeast New Mexico. 57 in Ruidoso. Clear tonight down to about 25. Snow in the forecast in Ruidoso on Thursday. And in Albuquerque this morning, 20% chance of rain today. It's going to be overcast, 62 for the high, about 43 tonight with an 80% chance of rain. You've got rain again coming up tomorrow in Albuquerque. 5-day forecast, go to W105radio.com. Take It Out Trash being brought to you by Trash Eaters, trash-eaters.com. Give them a call, 575-408-1719. Kayleen waiting for you right now. Need residential trash pickup. They have the 96-gallon polycart. They also have the big roll-off containers, and they have dumpsters for commercial clients, 2- and 4-yard metal dumpsters. That number, 575-408-1719, trash-eaters.com. They're local and veteran-owned and operated. Take It Out Trash being brought to you by Trash Eaters. Well, Albuquerque Public Schools is once again drawing national attention, this time for a district-wide memo that recasts Thanksgiving not as a day of gratitude, family, and American tradition, but a day of genocide, oppression, and mourning. Albuquerque Public Schools now finds itself lumped into the most aggressive work school districts and universities in the country. By the way, Albuquerque, making us proud. This story made Fox and Friends and Fox News. By the way, the memo went out to all schools K through 12 in the Albuquerque Public School District. Making us proud in New Mexico. Being on Fox News again for all the wrong reasons.
Oh, gosh.
Are we ever on there for good reasons?
No. Take It Out Trash being brought to you by our buddies at Trash Eaters. Steve Pierce will join us in a second, but first, Will, we got to get to things that happened on this date in history. Being brought to you by Two-Way Tactical Firearms, Indoor Firing Range, 236 East Navajo and Hobbs. Veteran-owned and operated. Of course, they've got everything that if you're looking for guns, they have the largest selection of guns. If you're looking for gun training, they offer firearm training. And if you're a first-time gun owner, this is so important. They have the state-of-the-art indoor firing range, plus the Milo FBI training simulator. 236 East Navajo and Hobbs, two-way-tactical-range.com. Proud sponsor of things that happen on this date in history.
70 years ago, in 1955, the late, great Rosa Parks broke the law by refusing to give up her seat on the bus to a white man in Montgomery, Alabama. She was arrested, causing a year-long bus boycott by African Americans and setting off the civil rights movement. That was 70 years ago today in 1955. 52 years ago in 73, the Carpenters hit #1 with Top of the World. 49 years ago, in 1976, Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols used profanity live on the BBC, and the press called the band Rotten Punks because of it, making them the founding fathers of punk rock. That's where punks came.
Oh, wow.
Punk rock, yeah, Rotten Punks. 36 years ago, in 1989, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation was released. Can you believe it's been 36 years?
Hey, I was watching that movie last night.
31 years ago in 1994, while recovering from East Coast inflicted gunshot wounds suffered the day before, Tupac Shakur was convicted on charges of sexually abusing a fan in his hotel room. And then 13 years ago, in 2012, Shania Twain began a 2-year residency in Las Vegas, performing at the Coliseum and Caesar's Palace. That was 13 years ago. In 2012, the Kansas City Chiefs linebacker Javon Belker fatally shot his girlfriend after an argument at their home, then drove to the team's practice facility, thanked the GM and the coach, and then shot himself in front of them. That's tragic. That was 13 years ago. And finally, 11 years ago in 2014, AMC issued an apology for screwing up on social media. They posted a major spoiler to the Facebook right after The Walking Dead mid-season finale that revealed the death of a main character. Oh, no.
Ooh.
Somebody in social media got fired that day. And that is this day in history. Of course, we've got birthdays. If you're celebrating a birthday today on this December 1st, happy birthday. Robert Irwin, of course, Steve Irwin's son. He just won the 34th season of Dancing with the Stars, which Tom A. told me, by the way, is 21. Zoe Kravitz, Catwoman from the Batman. She's 37. She also was in Fantastic Beasts. She's, of course, Lenny Kravitz is her dad.
Oh.
So 21 Pilots singer Tyler Joseph is 37 today. Australian singer from their biggest hit was Riptide. Vance Joy is 38. Let's see. R&B singer Janelle Monáe is 40. Linkin Park guitarist, their hits include In the End, Numb, Breaking Habit. I know I should probably ask one of y'all, but I doubt y'all would know. Brad Delson is 48 today. Sarah Silverman. There's a good upstanding comedian, right? Sarah Silverman. She's very lit.
Yeah.
55. And let's see. Nestor Carbonell. Is that how you pronounce his name? Richard Alpert on Lost. And he was on The Morning Show. He's been on several others. 58. Charlene Tilton. Lucy on Dallas.
Yeah. Yep.
She's 67. Mark Thompson, the Mark of Mark and Brian DJ fame. He's 70 today. So for you radio fans, Mark turns 70. Gilbert O'Sullivan, Big Smashes, Alone Again, Chair, Get Down. He's 79. Bette Midler is 80 today. And if you like, again, can't forget golf great Lee Trevino is 86. He played himself in Happy Gilmore. And he's the golfer who would pop up and shake his head disapprovingly at Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
So anyway, Lee Trevino, of course, and father of Rick Trevino, country singer.
Is that his dad?
Yeah, that's his dad. Of course,
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So and happy birthday to all those folks. And if it's your birthday, happy birthday. Of course, we can give you a shout out personally if you want to send us a text 877-396-9105.
All right, we're going to do our national anthem and our pledge, and then we'll take a break, and then Congressman Steve Pearce will be in. We'll talk about his brand new book. He'll be in the studio in just a second. KWMW, Maljamara, 105.1 FM, 93.5 KWES in Ruidoso. And you can find us at KDAZ AM 700 FM 96.9 in Albuquerque. National Anthem and the Pledge being brought to you by Rebecca Long. Rebecca Long, she's your Farmers Insurance agent, has been for 40-plus years, started her business at 19. All these years later, still helping people. Look, if you're listening to me right now, she could probably help you with your insurance. Yeah, she could bundle it together. Home, auto, life, commercial insurance, recreational insurance. 575-393-2661. Rebecca Long, your Farmers Insurance agent, and proud sponsor this morning of the National Anthem and the Pledge.
Hi, I'm Landry from College Lane Elementary in Hobbs, New Mexico, and I will say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
To honor America and perform our national anthem, entertainment icon Reba McEntire.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last glow, whose broad
7:10. Make that 8:10. Large prayer this morning being brought to you by Judah Oil, reminding you God is in complete control.
Verse of the day is Galatians 5:13. For you have been called to live in freedom, my brothers and sisters, but don't use your freedom to satisfy your sinful nature. Instead, use your freedom to serve one another in love.
Hi, this is Kim with Judah Oil, the Harris family, doing the Lord's Prayer for you today. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen.
8:11. Let me get you updated with news. We're coming back. Congressman Steve Pearce. We'll talk about his brand new book coming up next. News this morning being brought to you by Luke Ragsdale. Ragsdale Law Firm reminding you that accidents don't happen when you expect them. They happen when you least expect them. That's why you need a trusted lawyer to fight for you and a trusted law firm to fight for you. Ragsdale Law Firm, specializing in car accidents, personal injury, medical malpractice, and oil-field accidents. Based in Roswell, serving the entire state with free consultation, and you never pay until they win your case. Call Luke Ragsdale, 575-208-5300, ragsdalelawfirm.com. It's already 8:12.
MTD Radio News, I'm Blake Ovard. A $26.4 million structure and roadway reconstruction project along US 380 from milepost 162 to milepost 164, which is west of Bottomless Lake State Park, and from milepost 184 to milepost 191, west of the Waldrop Rest Area, is scheduled to begin on Monday. The 7.37-mile project will include improvements to pavement conditions, mill and inlay, roadway signage, striping, and adding passing lanes along two segments of US 380. Construction is scheduled for about 240 working days and will take place 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. During construction, lane closures will be in place in both eastbound and westbound directions throughout the work hours. A lawsuit filed by 6 former Carlsbad police officers and the current Eunice police chief, which sought to place the department under the control of Eddy County Sheriff's Office, has been dismissed. But a new lawsuit was recently filed in federal court. According to the Hobbs News Sun, Eunice police chief Danny Garrett and 14 other plaintiffs, all former officers of the Carlsbad Police Department or spouses of the officers, filed a federal lawsuit against the city of Carlsbad and Carlsbad chief Jesse Rodriguez in October. The lawsuit, filed through Carlsbad attorney Roxanne Rodriguez, addresses the claims of breach of an implied contract, retaliation, constructive discharge, loss of consortium, and request for punitive damages. The former CPD officers who are suing for damages due to constructive discharge claim they were forced to resign or retire because CPD created a hostile or intolerable work environment. And former Carlsbad council member Wesley Carter, 44, is facing a trial in district court on a series of felony charges stemming from an alleged domestic abuse his ex-wife said she experienced while they were still together earlier this year. He is charged with aggravated battery against a household member, a third-degree felony, along with false imprisonment and criminal damage to property of a household member, both fourth-degree felonies, and battery, deprivation of the property of a household member, and assault, all misdemeanors. And that's the way it is. I'm Blake Ovard. This is MTD Radio News.
CNM Electric LLC of Lovington, offering commercial and residential services in southeast and south central New Mexico. Whether it's oil field, agricultural, industrial, automation, and alarm systems, they also offer panel fabrication and power line work. CNM Electric provides generator rentals and shore power light towers, as well as small to large temporary power distribution centers for drilling, frac, and workovers. Call the experts at CNM Electric today and rest assured that there is no job too big or too small for them to handle. Call 575-396-2692. CNM Electric LLC, licensed, bonded, and insured with over 30 years experience.
Why are families driving from West Texas, Hobbs, Jow, Eunice, all over southeastern New Mexico to shop at Bob's Ridgeway? Is it the everyday low prices, the most locally grown farm fresh produce? Is it the hand-selected and cut meats, the hundreds of weekly specials, the clean, friendly shopping environment? Or is it just the fact that that's where for over 50 years, your grocery dollar has always gone farther? It's all of these. It's Bob's Ridgeway, 906 West Avenue D in Lovington, where your grocery dollar goes farther.
Your call is very important.
Still waiting on your cable company to care?
With slow speeds and hidden fees, maybe it's time to pull the plug. Kinetic gives you 100% fiber and gig speeds with 25 times faster uploads than cable. Local service that actually shows up, and clear pricing that isn't there to surprise you. So ditch cable and connect with the right crowd. Get up to $200 when you switch. Visit GoKinetic.com. Kinetic. Internet better. Subject to availability. Terms and conditions apply.
Let's face it, there's no opportune time for your furnace or water heater to go out. But the sad truth is, eventually, they will. When the time comes that you need to replace either of them, Zia Natural Gas Company offers energy efficiency rebates that can put some of that hard-earned money back in your pocket. Visit zngc.com to learn more about all of the ways you can get money back through their energy efficiency program. Zia Natural Gas Company. Naturally, a better way.
In the Breakfast Club, being powered by Permian Ford and PermianFord.com. Morning checklist, eyes open. Check. Survive. Check. Coffee. Check. Soon to be in the Breakfast Club. Check. Check.
So if you need to use the bathroom, use it now.
Call or text now, 877-396-W105 to be part of B and the Breakfast Club.
And it is our pleasure. Steve Pierce joins us. How are you doing, Steve?
Doing great. I tell you, love this weather in the southeast New Mexico.
Yeah, it was a little nippy this morning, but it's going to warm up again today, so it is going to be awesome. As a guy that read your first book, you come in studio and you have a brand new book. So you had to finish. You had to finish the story.
Well, I had to add 15 days to it. This book is about 15 days of my life. In 2016, while I was still in Congress, I flew my single-engine airplane around the world solo, and it was ultimately to honor those who didn't come home, the warriors. Wow. What happened is that I saw kids that, like me, came back from Vietnam, and some did never come home with flag-draped coffins. Others made it home but never really got home.
Mm-hmm.
And so just the suffering through the years. And so it's kind of on my mind that when I got to D.C., young veterans would come in, and a couple of triple amputees asked the most compelling question from both in Deming, and both asked the question, does anybody know or care what my service cost me and what their freedom cost me? And I would give them assurances. Somewhere through those 14 years in D.C., I started giving my speeches at Memorial Day, and we'd always go out to a couple of the cemeteries and do Memorial Day services. And I would say, someday somebody ought to do more than a 1-hour ceremony.
Yeah.
You know, that was one thing that you fought really hard for.
Yeah.
And TRICARE, you fought really hard for that, to bring care for our veterans where they could go to their own doctor.
Right.
And that's so important. Do you see things with Secretary Collins improving at the VA?
I haven't really looked inside very much. I think that he is doing good. I know him personally, served with him, and he's a good guy. He's a veteran himself, and so I think that things are probably moving in the right direction. But that ability to go to your local doctor was monumental.
Was huge.
That was big.
That
deal.
was huge, and not only that, as somebody who lives in the Philippines part of the year, you know, they signed a deal with a hospital in Manila where veterans can go there for care, and which is huge. If you're living in another country and you serve this country, you should get care.
Should get care.
Yeah. No.
And the same thing, if you live in Roswell, you shouldn't have to drive to Albuquerque to get care. And that was what really prompted it. There were 3 veterans here that really pushed. So you get so many issues coming at you in Washington. It's easy to lose stuff off the plate.
Right.
And these 3 guys just pushed. John Taylor was one, and he was writing columns constantly when it came time to testify about the abuses. He was there with documentation. He was a key part of getting that bill passed in 2014.
So if you want something passed in Washington, D.C., and what's the most important thing somebody can do to get legislation passed? So say like, you know, veteran care outside of the United States. How you write your congressman? You keep lobbying your congressman. I mean, if you're a single person or organization, it's tough.
Yeah, the easiest thing for you to do is to run for Congress, get elected, and then work at it. I will just tell you, there are so many issues that somebody can tell you today, yeah, I'm wholehearted with you. You're right there in her office. But the next day, somebody else is there.
Yeah.
And it gets lost in the
the shuffle.
And so I tell people that we fought this issue for 10 years on the veterans not receiving the care they should. And the VA was falsifying the reports. They were keeping handwritten lists, and when they got within 30 days of an appointment, they would actually stick it into the computer. Well, the computer always showed that everybody was within 30 days. They did that for 10 years, and it was the veterans in New Mexico that were pushing me, and I was using their documentation to go in, and through Bush, through Obama, none of it. The agency just gave these computer reports, convinced everybody on the committee, everything.
Wow.
And finally, some guy, a journalist in Arizona, picked it up and said, no, this is all false. And it blew completely sky high in 2014. That's the reason that the bill passed. The chairman of the committee was Jeff Miller, a good friend of mine. We served together. He came and said, you've got really the only significant reforms in, because I'd been putting the bills in since 2006. And the VA would get them adroitly shuffled off to the side. So when the stuff hit the fan there in 2014, then something had to pass. Obama fired his secretary. I don't think the secretary was the problem. It was the agency who was lying to the secretary. Anyway, it all came out, and that bill passed. $10 billion put into the fund so that veterans could see their local doctors. And if you had to drive more than 30 miles, or if you had to wait more than, I think, 15 days, most significant reforms that ever happened. But the stimulus came from veterans who were just tenacious, but they also had done their homework. And so, again, when it came time for the hearings in Congress, it was the guy from Roswell, John Taylor, that went up and testified and convinced everybody. But that's what it took. He was at it. I just came in 2003. I picked it up, and for 10 more years, but he was pushing even before that.
Wow.
And so that's what it takes.
You know, the abuse that we have in medical care is crazy. My brother was telling me that my mother's Medicaid, she gets bills, and he tracks it down, and it turns out she gets bills from doctors she never saw. Doctors that are, 50, 60, she's never even been to that city.
Yes, that's
and they're getting these bills, and it's just not a little bit. It's thousands and thousands, it's thousands of dollars
just to the one person.
One person. So you multiply that by
in
100 million.
In Minnesota, the Somali corruption there, $1 billion. Just that group of people, they've arrested 100 of them now, but 100 people get $1 billion. That's a pretty big payday.
That's crazy. Yeah. So I thought about this question this morning because a lot of people don't know. You made your money the old-fashioned way. Your family came here and didn't have 2 nickels to rub together.
That is true.
And you worked and made money in the oil and gas industry. But there are a lot of people that get to Washington, D.C., and I used to have a friend of mine, Billy Tozan, and Billy Tozan was a Democrat, Republican. He'd switch parties at the whim, but went to and then became a lobbyist, made lots of money. But I look at the people like Ian Omar and AOC. AOC had to borrow money from an apartment when she got there. She's worth millions now.
I know.
How does that happen on a $200,000 a year salary?
Yeah, don't ask me because they're doing things I didn't do and didn't plan to do.
Yeah.
We're supposed to live on the salary, and I think it's $174,000.
Right.
And that's nothing to sneeze at, but you got 2 homes you got to keep up.
That's...
You got to travel. So we paid every year for my wife to travel back and forth. We paid it out of our pocket.
Right.
We didn't pay it out of the campaign. We didn't do any of that.
But you made before you went to Washington, you had worked all your life, made money, and then we got people that have no lifetime experience going to Washington trying to make tell us how to live our lives.
And they can't balance their own checkbook, and then they're
Thank
trying
you.
to spend trillions and for the government, and they don't know what the value of money. And so if they give this $100 million over here, it feels good and sounds good, but then when nothing happens, they move on to the next deal.
Right.
Well, let's not worry about that. You know, years ago, with the representative from El Paso, Democrat, his daughter was like number 2 or 3 in this company that was supposedly doing security on the border.
Right.
$200 million to put cameras on the border and computers. They had all these stations that were out there. They didn't have one single station. They were supposed to be every 25 miles or something like that. Not one single station from here to California had all 3 components: the tower, the computer, and the cameras. Some had the tower with no camera, no computer. Some had the tower and computer, but no anyway, just 200 million shot. And of course, the daughter, she did real well. She was vice president of the company that was providing all the service. And we're sorry. Same thing happened in Afghanistan, Iraq.
Oh, I'm sure.
Trucks showed up, and the contractors say, well, it doesn't say anywhere the truck had to be running. And so trucks were taken over there and just sat in Afghanistan because the contract didn't say they have to be running. And so
everybody thought President Trump was going to get us into another war, and he's actually been one of the only presidents that hasn't gotten us into a war. So this whole thing about Venezuela, he's came out multiple times and said, nope, we're not going to put American men and women on the ground, and hopefully we do the same in Ukraine. And you fought for this country, and so I've always applauded your efforts for our veterans, and
Thank you.
And did the right thing. Fought for New Mexico. I think a lot of people go to Washington D.C. and they forget, who they're fighting for. They're supposed to be fighting for their constituents.
There's a true story I tell. So at some point, John Boehner called me into his office, and you go to the speaker's office. It's kind of like when he called me, it was like going to the principal's office. It wasn't a good deal. And he said, Steve, you're not being a very good team member. And I said, I don't know exactly what that means, sir. And he said, well, you're not voting for my bills. And I said, you get the bill right, I vote for it. If it's wrong, I'll vote against it. And he said, no. When you're here, you work for me. I said, sir, would you say that one more time? He said, when you're here, you work for me. And I said, no, sir. When I'm here, I work for the 700,000 people who voted for me. That's what I've worked for. And I didn't forget it. I didn't percolate up the leadership, because you can't.
Yeah.
When you hold the hard line, it has got to be a good bill. I'm not going to vote for a bad bill. At one point, I was listed as one of the 12 hardest bills for a Republican speaker to get to vote, because I voted for the people in New Mexico. And so all of that goes into this book here. You had a good home, but you left. And like you talked, the picture on the front of the book, of course, we're looking at it here. That house in the background is the house that we lived in my first 2 years.
Wow.
And Mom says we got the chickens out and we moved in. And I finally made Dad take me to see it in my 40s. It still stands over halfway between Lamesa and Lubbock, or Lamesa and O'Donnell. And still has a dirt floor, still has the chicken wire in the windows. Mom said they put cardboard in the windows, and that's what we lived in. And she said at some point, my uncle makes more in a week than you make in a month. He works in the oil field. She said, we're going somewhere we don't live like this anymore. She jumped in the pickup truck and threw us 3 kids. There were 3 more later. But Dad jumped in the back, and she's peeling out, leaving the farm. And the truck broke down at the state line outside of Hobbs. They didn't even know where they're going. They didn't know here, Carlsbad or Las Cruces. Anyway, they were just going to the west. And the truck broke down at the state line. They hitchhiked into Hobbs 3 miles, and that's where I grew up. And I told them later when I was serving, this district was 34% Republican. I said, if your dadgum truck had broke down in Seminole, I'd have grown up in an 84% Republican district instead of 34%. I said, so that's just the way life carries you. But it's so that's the picture on the book. You had a good home, but you left. It began as the cadence call, because cadence to me is very important. In flying, you don't want the airplane to get ahead of you. You want this cadence. It's the same thing. You had a good home, but you left. You're right. This marching, this military stuff got into me and stayed. And so cadence was big, and my wife was reading through, helping me edit. And she said, that's not just a sentence. That's the title of your book, because every time we get things comfortable, you move on to something else. We were pretty comfortable, and then you went out and we bought this business. And then we had to work really hard for 12 or 14 years. And then things are going well. We were making money, and then you ran for Congress. And so then we're in Congress, and we're pretty settled, and then you go and fly this dadgum mission around the world, and that stressed us both to the absolute limits. Most people that flew those would have teams of 8-10 people. One would work logistics, one fuel, one would be setting up payments for whatever. And the State Department said, you can't go on the trip. And I said, well, you can't tell me I can't go on the trip. You can advise me, but I will go. Well, you can't tell, and you shouldn't tell anybody, because you're going through some of the most dangerous places in the world, Jakarta, Indonesia, the Chittagong, Bangladesh. I mean, those were places that we had on the flight plan, and they said, you're a pretty high-value target, and if you're out there posting on social media. So what I intended to be a very public display of an effort to just value the service of our men and women in the military became a very quiet thing. And I said later that it's just me communicating with individual veterans that I cared enough to do this.
Amen.
To honor what you all did. So you had a good home, but you left. It also, that is getting home when you leave. My whole time in Vietnam, I was thinking about Dad plowing that 5 acres he would work with Humble or Exxon during the day, go home, hit the house at 4 o'clock, jump on the tractor, and that's how he made ends meet. He was making $2.64. His starting pay as a roustabout, and I mean, he was kind of right at the bottom end of the spectrum. So we sold vegetables on the side of the road. We did everything. All of us had 4-H projects, and we were just there. That's how we made our way through college, just showing pigs at the county and the state fair. And so we made it work, but that was my vision of home. And I think everybody who goes to war has that visualization of what home is like and where you can feel comfortable and people accept you no matter what mistakes you've made. And so you had a good home, but you left. It applies in many different ways.
And you've done really, really well. Humble beginnings to, becoming a congressman. And, I can't wait to dig into it and read the book. Looking at Congressional District 2, your old district, it's amazing how far that has gone.
Yes.
And not in a good way.
No, it's, I was set down on the court cases here in Lovington, and was simply stunned at the arguments that the judge bought and ultimately the Supreme Court of New Mexico bought. And I think, I don't remember the exact numbers, but they changed like 18 percentage points. And so the judges or whoever said, if it had been 18 points, that would have been egregious and we would have stopped it. But 16, that was okay.
16's okay.
Yeah, and it was so ridiculous that they set out to prove that they could make a 3 districts where no Republican could ever win. I mean, and one of the pieces of testimony that was presented was the president pro tem of the Senate, Mimi Stewart, and she said in her text, wait, they can still win the off-year elections with this model. We're going to have to change it by another 4 or 5 points. And still the judge says, well, but, the New Mexico Constitution says any kind of gerrymandering is against the law. Right. And so the Supreme Court of New Mexico, 5 Democrats all said, well, it was okay. I mean, it was understandable. And so you just shake your head. This was 2 years before the whole thing erupted in Texas and California. They just made it visible, but the Democrats started way back there in New Mexico first, changing it to where Republicans could never win a race here.
Yeah, and now we have 40% of the state has zero
representation. Yep. Yeah, and so and it's the 40% of the state that provides about 50% of the revenue for the state.
I was going to mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see these pickups and cars coming in every afternoon. I go to the airport when I fly out, and you see all of those cars coming in. They're stacked up miles deep coming into Hobbs Similarly, when I drive to jail, you'll see a line that is an hour and a half long. There's that 4-way stop at the main, and coming into New Mexico from Texas and going over down, I think it's 131, going to Malaga and to Orla, an hour and a half. All those trucks coming into New Mexico. Lee County is the top oil producing county in the nation, and maybe in the world. And Santa Fe acts like it's nothing, and they never even acknowledge the work of all those people that come here every day and go out there and make the oil field work. And I just want to say a big thank you to all of them sitting out there this morning.
They're out there in the cold, no matter if it's raining, snowing, they're out there. And I hear people saying, well, you know, I need this day off. Those guys are out there come rain, come sleet, snow,
Christmas,
Thanksgiving.
Right.
Somebody's got to do it.
The only sacred holiday in the oil field is deer hunting. We're all going to get off on deer hunt. That's okay.
No doubt. Monica, you got text from the text line?
You know, we don't have any text from the text line, but I have a personal question for you, Mr. Pierce. You honestly almost made me cry just listening to your life story and a little bit of your childhood and whatnot, because I'm very visual, so I pictured you as a little boy on the dirt floor, you know, whatever. And I'm sad that I haven't already read your first book, so I'm going to grab that first. So should I read that one first and then this one?
No, they're not sequential at all. The first one just talks about growing up poor in Lee County.
Sure.
So the people who grew up poor like it. The people who grew up rich, they don't much care for it.
Sure. No, but I wanted to talk about your new journey. I love that you mentioned that your wife said, like, once we get comfortable, you move on to the next thing. So how is it going with the new thing?
Yeah, I can't even talk about it. I would
Not
like
yet.
to, but
Okay.
but I do tell people, and it's actually, so the book was ready about July or August, July. And so if you turn after the title page, the dedication is to Cynthia, the lovely redhead I married, and promise someday we will not leave this house. So occasionally she opens it up and she starts tapping her finger on the page like this, because I got a call from D.C. and will you come back? I said, not really. I said, I'm pretty good out here. And then blah, 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 blah. And I ended up saying,
it's hard to turn the president down.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so anyway, but we'll know more about that. The Senate still has to call me in and talk to me
confirmation.
and confirmation, and that's part of the process. I accept it and look forward to it. But right now, I'm just we're doing all the things that reveal every bit of your history back to when you were 18.
Yes.
Every house, every job,
everything.
Yeah. So
everything.
Anyway, and it should be that way. And
I agree.
Oh, agreed.
Yeah.
So I agree.
What a journey.
Yeah.
What a journey.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about becoming an American citizen, I think the process should be tougher.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've said that, and people I'm like, no, I think the process should be tougher. And, you know, everything going on in America today with, you know, all the people that were let in unvetted in America, this is a lesson. This is a lesson. We either learn lessons. History is valuable.
Mm-hmm.
We either learn lessons or we don't learn lessons. Yeah. And we better start
if you don't learn the
some
lesson, you learn it very hard.
Very
That's right.
hard.
Hey, Steve, so the name of your book, You Had a Good Home, But You Left, and it's available now. Where can they get this book?
You can get it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, either one. And we just appreciate anybody out there that jumps on and buys the thing. And so,
Well, you're making the rounds around the state this week. You're going to be over in Artesia later today at the Artesia building, the Artesia Bulldog Admin Building, 301 Bulldog Boulevard, 11:30. And then tonight at the Grace Community Church in Roswell at 5:30. Tuesday morning at EMU Ruidoso at 9 a.m. for our K-West listeners. And then, of course, Saturday at Barnes & Noble at Coronado Mall in Albuquerque at 2 p.m. So you're making the rounds to all of our markets.
this is like old times. Got Tim Keithley's driving me around. And you notice my ears are laid over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tim is a good friend and good supporter. We just we're enjoying the time together. But out there, just letting people come ask questions about the journey. So the 15 days made 26,000 miles. So I was sitting in a seat just about the size of this one.
Yeah.
I was a little high chair for 12 hours a day.
Wow.
Just motoring through the air, then had to land, and you got to go through customs. You got to clear all the paperwork. And so I was getting to bed anywhere from 10:30 to 2 o'clock in the morning. And then I was up at 5 o'clock the next morning. You did that for 15 days. The thing really began to grind at me as I got further down the road. Getting through the Pacific, I flew west against the wind because I was doing it to honor those who served, and they sent us west to Vietnam. I couldn't go east. The east is the easy way. You fly with the tailwind the whole way. I was fighting headwinds of 20 to 60 to 70 knots on the nose right here. And so slowed down. And so we, the closer and closer I got to Vietnam, the more that I realized that I wasn't just honoring others. I was on a pilgrimage back to my war years, and things began to come back to me. And it's just like movie films going through my mind in this 12 hours motoring across the oceans. And you just think, the sad loss of life from political, from totally incompetent political and military leaders, both making decisions that put people, the rules of engagement were horrible. One rule of engagement, we couldn't send anybody in, we couldn't send artillery fire into the rubber plantations because some big tower company owned those, and we had to pay them for every tree that we hurt. And so the Vietnamese, they didn't care. The Viet Cong, they put their home camp right there in the rubber plantations. They could come out and fight and go back in. It was like a sanctuary. President Johnson at one point said, those guys in the jets can't even strike a outhouse without my approval. And I mean, so here the president is putting his thumb on. He's making them fly over bases where MiGs are, where there's surface-to-air missiles, and you can't strike those. You can only go for that target. And so we lost a lot of airmen in that. The 11-day war with B-52s, we lost 16 B-52s in the 11 days of that war in 1972. And I discuss all of that in the book, that wars are justified in the war there. I look today, stopped in Thailand, and I think, okay, we kept the communists from sweeping through Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam, and then grabbing Thailand. And so I think, okay, Thailand was an especially good stop for me. It was a hard stop, but that was good. So this pilgrimage back to my war was kind of the dual nature then that I wasn't even aware of when I started.
Right.
And so.
Is that your first trip back to Vietnam?
It's actually the second. A friend of mine, Joe Yee, that has Pacific Rim and Hobbs, and then Jack Swickard from over in Roswell. The three of us went back, and Jack had a friend that had been at ALIA, International Law Enforcement Academy. He was from Vietnam, just was a policeman when he went through the academy, but had become a police chief, and he joined us in Hanoi and drove us all the way to the South Vietnam into Saigon or Ho Chi Minh City today. One of the most significant things in that journey happened at the DMZ, there, the division point, and so General Giap was the top general of the North Vietnamese, and he's the one who really orchestrated their victory there. And so I wanted to see the village. I mean, we went right through the village he grew up in just a little bitty hamlet. Anyway, I wanted something to remember that place from, and so I saw a Vietnamese Viet Cong flag hanging on a deal, and I said, pull over and see if I can buy the flag for them. Anyway, the guy came out. He's about my age. He shimmied up the bamboo pole, pulled the flag off, came down, and he gave me the flag, and we had him sign the corner of it, and he told me that he was a North Vietnamese warrior at the same point in 1972 and 73 when some of the great losses occurred, and so we had a really, I think it was pretty neat way to wrap that trip up, because you have this former enemy, and all of a sudden we're both I think we were in our 60s at that point, late 50s, and here we are with arms around each other, and that's the way we should end up.
Sure.
Right? Yeah. So.
Sure.
So that was the first trip back. This was the second one back, and again, so the commitment that I made to fly west was followed up with one more commitment, and that is that I would not use the congressional status to cure problems. Congressional status will open any door. And I didn't want doors open. I'm thinking, okay, these guys who are amputees, they can't invoke their lost limbs. How dare I go to honor them and invoke some congressional privilege to solve a problem? And so we faced the problem is just exhaustion. And many of the countries, you couldn't stay, and they could see I was dog tired, but their regulations or whatever prohibited. So I'd have to get in the air. So I'd been up for almost 48 solid hours, mostly in the air, and desperately wanted to spend the night in Muscat, and they just wouldn't allow it. And so then I had to take off, and I landed 6 hours later in Bahrain to get fuel. I thought I'm going to sleep here, and they said, no, you can't. You can just get fuel, and then you got to go.
Wow.
So, I mean,
You're tired.
Yeah, I'm really tired, and so you just fight these things. And all of it seems contrary to our nature, except the more that I suffered under these problems, then I realized what I was trying to honor, the suffering I was trying to honor. Without doing it, I could never have penetrated that deep. Back here in the home, you can say grace around the table, but you never have to really experience that deep, I don't even know exactly those deep emotions. But the more that this thing weighed on me, the heavier it got, the more I understood what I was honoring. And so I'd say in the book that the suffering seems contradictory to what we should be doing until you do it, and then you realize, okay. And so I talk a lot about my faith, I tell people I didn't run for office on my faith, but I also didn't run away from it. Same thing in the book here. That I tell people that's a strong piece of my life story. And I get a lot into the life story. The idea of flying from here to here to here and going around the world is kind of routine. But when I start folding in these life stories, then it has more meaning. One of the guys that wrote a book review from over in Alamogordo really captured it a lot. He said that I got very, very personal, even to the point of the negative things that occurred because of the trip. Cynthia didn't want me to go at all. I was planning it all in secret, I thought. And so I would only take the maps out when she wasn't there, and the maps stretched in our little house in Washington. I tell people it was like a trailer house, but we didn't get the wheels. Anyway, it was 13 feet wide, 60 feet long, and so almost 45 feet of charts laid out here to get around the world. And she came in once and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just looking." She said, "I know what flight planning looks like." And she says, "What are you thinking?" I said, "I'm thinking I might fly around the world." And she said, "Why would you do that?" And she said, "What would I do?" And I said, "Well, I've got this little gadget, and you can watch it make a dot every minute." And she says, "Not that, what would I do?" And I said, well, "What? What would I do when you don't come home?" She said, "We're both in our 70s. We're supposed to age together."
Right.
And I'd never even thought about that.
Yeah.
And so I tell in our life that we just basically had a rule that was unwritten, that everything had to be a 2-0 vote of the Pierce board. She and I, 1 vote each, and 2-0.
That's a great way to keep a marriage together.
And we did our business. We did all the investments, everything that way. And here I was, and I tell people I didn't lose the vote, but I went with only a 1-0 vote. She abstained. She finally said, "I'm not going to say anything," and so that put a lot of stress on the marriage.
Sure.
So when I left, she says, "Well, who is your team?" We had been to a couple of the ceremonies where they were recognizing pilots who had done this. And I said, "Well, I don't have one." She said, "You can't do this by yourself." She said, "Don't expect me." Well, of course, knowing my wife, the first leg, I'm having to call her on the sat phone. I'm in the middle of the Pacific. The winds are really strong. Can you see if there's a place where I don't know anything about winds. Click. Anyway, she starts looking on the computer, figures out the winds. And so that's the reason her name is on the book with me, Steve Pierce and Cynthia Pierce, because I couldn't have finished the flight without her, but then I couldn't have finished the book without her.
Sure.
I just write. I was going from here to there, and I landed and then took off the next morning. She said, "It's got to be a little more than that."
So I'll send you a message when I'm done.
Okay, do.
I'll send you a message when I'm done. And so they can go to Amazon and buy this morning?
Yes, or Barnes & Noble, either one. Had a good home, but you left.
Had a good home, but you left. Go check it out. Steve Pierce, we appreciate you coming on.
Always good talking to you.
And we appreciate you making this part of your stop.
We love the opportunity. You guys do great work through the years, and I appreciate all of you. Monica, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm glad they're finally upgrading the kind of the character of the place. We're just before the three of us. I mean, we can just get down right in the gutter,
Sure.
and so now then we have to hold it up on the mountaintop.
That's what everybody has said. That's what everybody has said.
So, but I love you guys, and we will see you. Keep in touch, and let me know.
Will do. Thank you so much for coming in. All right, 8:51. We're coming back. We are B and the Breakfast Club.
Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. 1 year after United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was gunned down outside a New York hotel, the accused killer with a fan club, Luigi Mangione, looking to suppress evidence.
Attorneys for Luigi Mangione are back in court in New York today to argue the notebook found in his backpack upon arrest should not be allowed in at trial. This is the notebook that allegedly contained hostile writings about the healthcare industry and other executives.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. President Trump sent his special envoy to Moscow to try to close the Russia-Ukraine peace deal and updates the D.C. National Guard shooting.
One is no longer with us, and Andrew is fighting for his life.
Andrew Wolf still in critical condition. Sarah Beckstrom died after being shot last Wednesday afternoon. The president says he's told her parents and his to come see him when they can.
The only thing I can say, they were devastated.
Fox's Chris Foster with that. America's listening to Fox News.
Wanting an affordable, quiet place to park your RV while you're working in or around Carlsbad? WWRV is 3 RV parks with one goal: to be a quiet place for their working tenants. 162 RV sites with 30 and 50 amp available. All utilities are included in the price, including premier wired internet at each site for your gaming and movie streaming. WWRV is pet friendly and well lit with plenty of street lights. Get pricing and contact info by visiting their website at www.rvx3.com or call 575-988-0392 for WWRV.
In need of a tow? Those don't have to be dirty words. At Lee County Roadside, they have been offering friendly and knowledgeable service for 20 years. From light to heavy duty, there's nothing they can't tow. And with 24-hour availability, there's no time they can't tow it. Don't make a bad day worse by choosing the wrong tow company. Lee County Roadside, the good guys to call in a bad situation. For 24-hour service, call 575-392-3223 or locate them at 7401 North Del Paso, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Like Lee County Roadside on Facebook and follow them on Instagram.
What's really going on? Daniel Bellis here, Permian Ford Lincoln, and it's a first come, first served basis, guys. We have a big announcement on 2025 model year and clearance. It's called the year-end savings event, and it gives you 0% for 60 months and 90 days of deferred payment on all 2025 models left in stock. Come check us out. It's a first come, first served basis. You want to make sure that you get the ones that you like, and yes, it does include America's best-selling truck F-150. It does include our Ford Super Duties, guys. Come and check us out. We're going to be excited to help you guys out. 1000 North Del Paso Street here in Hobbs, America.
Not all models and trim levels qualify. See dealer for details.
If you need an aggressive, experienced personal injury attorney who is honest and true, you need to get the Gorilla.
So I'm 23 years old. I worked at a warehouse, and I took an injury which caused the amputation of my right leg. I was approached by a specific firm, and they turned my case down within 5 minutes. I was told to come visit the Gorilla Law Firm, and immediately they saw potential in my case. And I tell you what, Gorilla Law Firm had my back when no one else did. The Gorilla Law Firm made me a multi-millionaire. And if you're injured, you call the Gorilla Law Firm too.
The Gorilla Law Firm, 3130 North Grimes and Hobbs, or call 575-964-2720.
You can take a seat at the dinner table. You can take a seat on the sofa to watch the game. You can even take a seat at the bar, sharing laughs with friends. But there's one seat you should never take: the driver's seat after drinking. Because that seat could land you in the back of a police car, in front of a judge, or behind bars. So tonight, take a seat in a rideshare or with a designated driver. Get home safe. Together, we can end DWI. Brought to you by NMDOT.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning.
Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
Your morning show powered by your Ford dealer. Be in the Breakfast Club being powered by Permian Ford. You don't have time to read the articles? We'll give you a synopsis of what's going on.
He went in the witness protection program?
No, back to the show. Be in the Breakfast Club.
Cyber Monday. Monday. It's like Black Friday, only more cybery. With high-powered Wi-Fi scrolling, clicking, shopping, saving, economy-injecting power. Fill your shopping basket with an endless supply of crap you wouldn't normally buy. But because you can get up to 70% off and free delivery, you'll purchase practically anything. Don't miss the online deals and steals. Cyber Monday. Monday. Bring your credit card.
Today, be there, Cyber Monday. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Zia Guns, 1907 North Payne in Roswell. Over 1,000 guns in stock, handguns, rifles, shotguns, personal protection. Trade in your old gun to get a better gun today at Zia Guns. 575-622-0023. Closed on Saturday, always open on Sunday, 1907 North Payne in Roswell. Already 8:56, boob of the day, just around the corner. We'll keep you updated with everything going on this morning. And songwriter Teddy Swims says he used AI to help him write some of his songs. AI, look, the number one song on the country charts is AI.
Wow.
AI-driven. So Teddy Swims admitting he used AI.
Oh, no. I wonder which song it was.
I don't know. By the way, ChatGPT taking credit for every song that he's ever written. Yeah. And a Maryland man facing charges. He allegedly pulled a gun. I did that story about pulling a gun on those three girls. Yeah, pulled the gun on the three girls that were just simply there to carol. Isn't it too early to carol, though? I think it is.
Depends on who you ask. If you ask a Christmas lover.
I think it should be 5 days away from Christmas. That's it. 5 days. We'll give you 5 days. That's it. Campbell Soup Company has fired one of their executives, calling the soup highly processed soup for poor people. Have you seen how much a can of soup costs nowadays?
Well, they're not wrong, though. I mean,
no, they're not wrong.
Processed, high sodium content.
He's not wrong, but you never stab the place that's writing the checks.
Make your own soup.
Sure.
People. It's easier than you think.
Looks like a study over 130,000 people. Researchers say that people who are impatient are associated with 212 different medical conditions, including addiction, obesity, heart disease, and chronic pain. Just because you're impatient? I mean, maybe it led to all of those things.
Yeah.
Anxiety and all kind of other things. Crazy. Looks like it was a dangerous situation. Very windy on 2-lane highway, but Santa Fe officers finally made a stop. Well, the Jeep stopped on its own when it crashed into a tree.
Oops.
By the way, this guy, his fifth DWI. 34-year-old William Scrobridge crashed into the tree. Fifth DUI. By the way, when police got there, they tried to talk to him. Yeah, he was a little inebriated. Fifth DUI. How many? And by the way, driving with they had already taken his license away.
Oh, so he had no license.
No.
So much for 3 strikes and you're out.
No, that's not going to happen. When you have no license, people are going, what happened? Minnesota government worker blames Tim Walz for the massive fraud amidst the allegations with the Somalis. They also have some problems when it comes to, I don't know, their investment fund for their retirement for their workers in the state.
Where that went.
Was that mishandled?
A Democrat mismanaging money?
And look, I don't like the word, but President Trump said over the long Thanksgiving break that Tim Walz is a retard. I don't like the use of that word, but I don't think he's wrong at the same time. But they keep voting for the guy. So, Minnesota, when you keep voting for the same person and you know they are low IQ, you get what you get.
Well, if you actually have a mental handicap, you can be non-mentally handicapped and still be a retard. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I think it's there again. There's a context because people always, it's mentally handicapped. And I understand. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to disparage anyone who fights with that on a daily basis.
No.
But by the same standpoint, honestly, I think you're more of a retard if you don't have any excuse like that and you're this stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole thing about the Somalis, and that's all on him. That's all on him.
Sure.
All of it. Prosecutors keep pushing to keep a Taos man behind bars after deputies say he kidnapped and raped a woman. Taos County Sheriff's deputies said last Saturday 55-year-old Jorge Montoya was arrested after deputies came to his house and found a woman severely beaten and naked. Her hands and feet were tied. Montoya was arrested at the scene, the woman taken to the hospital. And the more they learned, this guy had kidnapped her and raped her continuously. Prosecutors want him held until his trial comes up. Cook County, Illinois, establishing a permanent guaranteed income program. Permanent guaranteed income. When I hear the word permanent, that means forever and ever?
Supposed to be.
Second largest county in the United States has established a permanent guaranteed basic income. These programs have happened in California a lot, but this is the second largest county in the United States. I'm looking for how much money. $500. $500. It's no different than New Mexico. In Albuquerque, they're paying kids to go to school. $500 a month for homeless kids to continue to go to school.
Really?
$500 program. And a huge mob of Muslims and their supporters stormed the Apple Store in New York City yesterday. Many waving Palestinian flags. Footage filmed by the Freedom News storming the Apple Store. What do they have against Apple? What's the problem with Apple? I don't get it. What's the issue with Apple? And new report coming out about a boost across Albuquerque public schools. Supposedly their numbers are going up as far as reading proficiency. They're showing a 43% of students now. Now, they're applauding this. 43% of students can read in Albuquerque public schools. 43% are proficient in reading, while 25% are proficient in math. Let that sink in. And we're applauding this. How bad was it before it improved?
I was going to say, if that's an improvement and we're happy about that, that's pretty bad.
And they're graduating a higher number of children nowadays. Is that because you just graduate them, or are they actually doing well enough to graduate?
Wow. True.
Well, and unfortunately, I've seen it all too often where they're just, and the No Child Left Behind thing was one of the worst programs ever.
Oh, yeah.
And they've just continued it and made it worse.
So, I mean, if 43% of Albuquerque public school students are now proficient in reading and 25% are proficient in math, and they are graduating kids that aren't proficient in math and reading, what a travesty. Mm-hmm. What a travesty. Missing woman found, and 2 suspects were caught in Santa Fe. When I think of Santa Fe, I always think of like this tranquil place, just beautiful.
Do you really? Because of the mountains and whatnot?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Hoity-toity, but now you've got Santa Fe police say a tip led them to a missing woman and 2 people being arrested on felonies. 35-year-old Adriana Solis was found on Thanksgiving morning. Her mother had reported her missing 4 days earlier, suspected that she might be being held against her will. When officers arrived, they discovered her boyfriend, 22-year-old Zane Burke, had burglarized and drug trafficking charges before, had barricaded himself inside the house. They deployed the K-9. By the way, this guy was also charged on drug and embezzlement charges and other charges, and, of course, the kidnapping charges also. Crazy. In Santa Fe, tranquil place, the mountains, it's all beautiful. And would it surprise you if I said Rosie O'Donnell, being interviewed by Jim Acosta, said that her Trump derangement syndrome is actually rubbing off on her artistic daughter?
Oh, gosh.
So the comedian Rosie O'Donnell, who has such hatred for Donald Trump, saying that Donald Trump has made her more famous every time she tells a joke about her. And now her daughter is getting Trump derangement syndrome. It's like anxiety. It's like anxiety. All of a sudden, somebody else gets anxiety because it rubbed off on them. It's contagious. Anxiety is contagious. Trump derangement syndrome is now contagious. Speaking to Jim Acosta, where's Jim working nowadays? Because he's not on CNN anymore. Damn Donald Trump. My daughter now has... No! Your daughter has Trump derangement syndrome because of you.
Because all she hears is Trump's the devil.
Yes. Correct. It's not Trump's fault. And Lee Zeldin coming out. Well, I don't know if you knew this. Lee Zeldin was accused by Jasmine Crockett of taking money from Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh.
Now, she had also said that somebody else had taken money. Who was that? 2 weeks ago. She said they had taken money from Jeffrey Epstein. It wasn't, he took money from Jeffrey Epstein, but it wasn't the notorious Jeffrey Epstein. How many Jeffrey Epsteins out there are? I mean, they're...
Oh, different Jeffrey Epstein?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And so when she located this information, she just went, oh, yeah, they took money from Jeffrey Epstein. And when they discovered it wasn't that Jeffrey Epstein, she wouldn't walk it back.
Oops.
She would not walk it back. And Sydney Sweeney, beautiful Sydney Sweeney, got good jeans. Got good swimsuit, too. Stunned in a white swimsuit during a Florida Keys weekend. She is now dating a record executive, Scooter Braun. Not that she actually has to date a record executive. I think she would be fine all on her own. Sydney, she's got great jeans. All right, Monica, text line our number 877-396-W105. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Randy Pettigrew. Randy's from District 61. He's your state representative. Would love to chat with you about what's going on in New Mexico. You want to keep up with what's going on in New Mexico? Get a copy of his newsletter. Puts that newsletter out multiple times a month. And during a session, Randy is always putting out the newsletter, keeping you updated what bill passed, what bill got out of committee, what bill will go to the governor's desk so she can just sit on it if she doesn't like it. Find out more information about Randy Pettigrew. Just go to the website, randallpettigrew.com. Sign up today, Randall Pettigrew. Message paid for by Randall Pettigrew. Text line 909.
Glueless wants to wish a very happy birthday to Shandonette niece. Happy birthday, Shandonette. And Jay in the Patch said, hey, do you guys know what road out of Roswell toward Lubbock they're doing construction on?
Roswell, that's right there. What is that? The highway.
380?
380. So it's not that bad. It's only
depends on what time of day you go through.
Yeah, like maybe 5 miles.
I mean, depending on how you have to go, I mean, and when I'm driving back to Hobbs, it's like it's 380 or going 82. It's not that much different either way.
Yeah.
But time-wise, you're probably a little better off going 82.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeffro said AI is the devil.
It's gonna be.
Mm-hmm. Frank in the Pouch said Thomas Jefferson is the first one in America to defend our country by attacking the pirates that were attacking our ships in the Barbary War from the halls of Montezuma, the shore of Tripoli. Venezuela is the same as this war. Pete is defending our country from fentanyl. And Smokey says, dang it, Will, I thought you had a talk with B about saying that curse word on the air.
Just talking about snow. That's the curse word he meant.
And good morning, you guys. Great to see you, Will. The best one that I ever heard was Mules Ho, Texas.
Oh, instead of mule shoe?
Yes.
Mules Ho. There you go.
That's funny. Okay, this will be the last one from Big Trucker C. Did you guys hear about the ticked off parents that were mad about Las Cruces having to go play at the Cleveland home field, even though Las Cruces is ranked higher than Cleveland, giving Cleveland the home field advantage?
I mean, don't we always...
It goes by if you owe them, if you played wherever.
Yes.
So if those two teams played last at Cleveland, then the next game will be at the other
Correct.
location.
I learned that this year.
Yeah. So it's a little different. It's a lot different in Texas. A lot different. Whoever is the highest seed is the home team. Yeah.
All right, that's it for the text line.
All right, looks like a couple things going on. Maybe we'll have time to talk about new SNAP benefits. President Trump raising the SNAP work age and overhauling everything dealing with SNAP, in Kentucky parting ways with their coach. Football season has ended, and Kentucky firing Mark Stoops as their coach. Maybe Brian Kelly can get that job. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe that'd be a good job for Brian Kelly. Go ahead and get that. All right, we're going to take a break. Come right back. We're going to keep you updated. We still have to get to good news of the day. We haven't done Boob of the Day. Well, let's do that before we break.
Let's do it.
Boob of the Day this morning being brought to you by Desert Functional Medicine Aesthetics. Medical professionals on staff. They offer functional medicine such as natural supplements, stem cell therapy. They also offer such things as testosterone replacement therapy and hormonal optimization. They've got that and so much more going on right now. If you're not feeling right, it all starts with a deep dive into your blood work. Check them out today. Make that appointment. 575-964-8025, 3900 North Lovington Highway in Hobbs. Proud sponsor this morning of the Boob of the Day.
So coming off the Thanksgiving holiday, did you deal with any family drama on Thanksgiving? Well, if you did, I bet it can't top this. A 21-year-old guy in Illinois is facing charges after he got into a heated argument on Thanksgiving and ended the fight by torching their house. Cops in Beach Park, Illinois, near Chicago, responded to a call at 7:30 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day, and at that point, it was just an argument. The family said 21-year-old Eric Crump, who is still living at home, had been antagonizing and arguing with other people at dinner. Cops were able to calm things down, and he agreed to keep to himself the rest of the night. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. They had to come back, and the hour was later because the house was on fire. It turned out Eric had learned that he was about to be kicked out and couldn't live there anymore. So he used gas or some sort of accelerant to start a fire in his bedroom. He was standing on the street with a knife when cops got there, but luckily no one was hurt, and everyone made it out okay. The silver lining is that he won't have to worry about finding an apartment now because he's facing serious jail time for arson. And the bad news is his family needs a place. Their house suffered major damage.
Aww.
Congratulations, dude. You burned down your whole house. You are the boob of the day.
And he was like 44 years of age.
Oh, yeah. Shouldn't have been living there anyway, but he's finally getting kicked out. Sorry.
You're harassing your elderly parents.
True.
Sick. All right, Trump administration adding work requirements for people up to 64 years of age. We'll discuss that when we come back. Plus, we got to get to the good news of the day. News this morning being brought to you by Roach Air Conditioning and Heating, your choice for your next HVAC job. They've got the experience to take care of you. If the heat is not working this morning, call Enrique Rocha. Never fear. You'll be using the air conditioning coming up real soon, maybe by the weekend. Call Enrique, 575-631-1999, Rocha Air Conditioning and Heating. We're coming right back. It's already 9:15. We're Beyond the Breakfast Club.
MTD Radio News, I'm Blake Ovard. A $26.4 million structure and roadway reconstruction project along US 380 from milepost 162 to milepost 164, which is west of Bottomless Lake State Park, and from milepost 184 to milepost 191, west of the Waldrop Rest Area, is scheduled to begin on Monday. The 7.37-mile project will include improvements to pavement conditions, mill and inlay, roadway signage, striping, and adding passing lanes along 2 segments of US 380. Construction is scheduled for about 240 working days and will take place 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. During construction, lane closures will be in place in both eastbound and westbound directions throughout the work hours. A lawsuit filed by 6 former Carlsbad police officers and the current Eunice police chief, which sought to place the department under the control of Eddy County Sheriff's Office, has been dismissed. But a new lawsuit was recently filed in federal court. According to the Hobbs News Sun, Eunice police chief Danny Garrett and 14 other plaintiffs, all former officers of the Carlsbad Police Department or spouses of the officers, filed a federal lawsuit against the city of Carlsbad and Carlsbad chief Jesse Rodriguez in October. The lawsuit, filed through Carlsbad attorney Roxanne Rodriguez, addresses the claims of breach of an implied contract, retaliation, constructive discharge, loss of consortium, and request for punitive damages. The former CPD officers who are suing for damages due to constructive discharge claim they were forced to resign or retire because CPD created a hostile or intolerable work environment. And former Carlsbad council member Wesley Carter, 44, is facing a trial in district court on a series of felony charges stemming from an alleged domestic abuse his ex-wife said she experienced while they were still together earlier this year. He is charged with aggravated battery against a household member, a third-degree felony, along with false imprisonment and criminal damage to property of a household member, both fourth-degree felonies, and battery, deprivation of the property of a household member, and assault, all misdemeanors. And that's the way it is. I'm Blake Ovard. This is MTD Radio News.
Toyota-thon is on. Hey, Jan from Toyota here. Toyota-thon is on. Make your holiday wishes come true with a new Camry, RAV4, Tacoma, and more. Let's sing it together this time.
Dealer inventory may vary. Current offers on these vehicles end December 1st. Offers are subject to change throughout Toyota-thon, which ends on January 5th. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota. Let's go places.
Visit Permian Toyota in Hobbs today. Toyota, let's go places.
Good times and bad come and go. The dust settles and you take a look around. That's when you see who your real friends are. We've seen our members through the toughest of times. We're conservative and we're consistent. We don't always tell you what you want to hear. Sometimes we say no, but we're always looking out for your best interest. That's what friends are for. Estacado Federal Credit Union, where you are more than a number. You're a member. Federally insured by NCUA.
Gear up for Skywire, a new exhibit at the New Mexico Museum of Space History in Alamogordo, where you'll see one of only 3 Big Guff planes in existence.
This remote-controlled aircraft flew with a ham radio so big that it needed a truck to haul it.
Meet local experts and see how radio technology shaped everything from World War II drones to today's GPS-guided marvels. It all launches July 26th, and discover the marvels of flight at Skywired at the New Mexico Museum of Space History.
Your call is very important.
Still waiting on your cable company to care? With slow speeds and hidden fees, maybe it's time to pull the plug. Kinetic gives you 100% fiber and gig speeds with 25 times faster uploads than cable. Local service that actually shows up, and clear pricing that isn't there to surprise you. So ditch cable and connect with the right crowd. Get up to $200 when you switch. Visit GoKinetic.com. Kinetic. Internet better. Subject to availability. Terms and conditions apply.
Who got the power? Be in the Breakfast Club, powered by Permian Ford and PermianFord.com. Home of the lifetime Permian Powertrain promise.
We've been waiting for you.
If 2 wrongs don't make a right, try 3. Be Blake and Monica. Be in the Breakfast Club.
It is another day in paradise. Already 9:19. Looks like Dow Jones is Not having a great day this morning. Down a little bit this morning. I don't know what that's all about. I have no idea what that's all about, but down just a little bit. All right, tell me what you think about this, Monica. Looks like Trump administration new SNAP requirements will go into effect for people to receive food stamps, raising the age limit to 64. It was 55. Raising the age limit to 64 if you want to be on SNAP, mandatory 80 hours a month, work or training or volunteering.
I like that.
So you have to volunteer, train to go to work, or so they've raised that from 55 to 64.
And so pretty much you've got to put your hand to something.
You got to do something
Yeah.
if you want food stamps. Now, if you don't want food stamps, it really doesn't matter. You could still retire, even though they're raising that too. You won't be able to get on Social Security until you're 67 coming up soon, and retirement will be 70. I don't know how I feel about all this. I mean, in Asia, mandatory retirement's either 55 or 60.
Yep.
And then we have people that are working until death here in America. So I don't have a problem with making people do something, volunteering, training, getting a job. It's 80 hours a month.
People don't realize that's like you said, volunteering. There's other things that they could do.
Right.
That doesn't require anything super strenuous.
Now you can if you're disabled and you're excluded.
Well, sure.
And so, if you have kids, you're excluded.
Well, they'll get grumpy, and there will be someone who will be upset, no matter what restrictions you put on it.
Well, look, do you know how much food stamps has gone up over the past 4 years? 40% increase in the number of people on food stamps under Joe Biden. We have to be able to figure this out. And, look, I'm disabled. I am what they call disabled. I'm disabled. I've been disabled since 1995.
And yet you still do your job every day and do stuff for your wife every day and do stuff that most disabled people, but you don't apply for disability. There are people that I know, you and I both know, B. There's people that apply for disability and have applied for disability for a long time.
Yep.
That should never get it.
No, that's their life goal is to get on disability.
Right. Yeah.
I got a headache right now. It feels like a spider crawling in the back of my head. It does like this.
Oh.
But it's just damaged nerves. You know what? You can either say I'm going to lay on the couch or I'm going to get up and do something. And the 80 hours a week. Come on now.
Well, because of my dialysis, I qualify. But guess what? Life's too short, man.
Yeah.
I mean, so, and well, who is this going to? We got 186,000 dead people that have been receiving SNAP. We got 500,000 people collecting SNAP in more than one state.
Could it possibly be because the budget for SNAP got so big that basically everybody and their mother was approved and nobody was doing checks and balances
I don't know,
because there was so much money to spend?
And I'm going to say this, and some people are going to say, "Shut your mouth, B." We need to start going after. We're going to need to start going. So all these mothers run down to get Medicaid and SNAP. Where are all these baby daddies? Where are all the daddies? And I hate to say it, guys need to start paying up, and ladies that you went and got pregnant, you don't know the daddy?
If you got multiple baby daddies and none of them are paying, I'm sorry, there's a couple other problems there.
Yeah, you keep going after the wrong guy. He's broke. He ain't got no money. Or maybe you got people that are working and still together, and then she's on food stamp and assistant, and he's got a good job. They're still living together. They just don't claim to be together.
Oh, exactly.
So
she's still checking single on her box, but they got a two income household.
I'm just throwing it out.
So they can game the system.
Yeah, we got multiple problems with the system. We got to figure this out. And if you're gaming the system, you shouldn't be gaming the system. Pretty easy. You shouldn't be gaming the system. So Cyber Monday. I got to get out of here so I can go get some Cyber Monday done.
Oh, there you go.
I ain't worked out. I haven't worked out in 2 weeks. I told the wife, I just went, "You're going to the gym?" Nope. See, I'm going to the gym. I ain't going in 2 weeks.
I'm good for good news whenever you are.
Yeah, we got to get that done. All right, Monica, you got anything on the text before we dive into good news?
Just Big Trucker C chimed in about the Artesia game. He said, or the Las Cruces game. He said they had previously played Cleveland already in Cleveland at the beginning of the year. And Jules said, good morning to all of you guys. I'm glad Will is doing his best. Go Red Raiders, guns up.
So, Texas A&M, and Texas Tech all will be all in the championship series.
Very cool.
So, all right, good news of the day. We got to get to that, being brought to you by Farmers Insurance Agent Herschel Rustin Hayes, Avenue D in Lovington, 575-396-0513. Whole Auto Life Insurance, Commercial Insurance. Get in touch with Rustin Hayes. He is the proud sponsor this morning of the good news of the day, if I can work this thing.
So a couple in Aurora, Illinois, spent their second Thanksgiving with a mailman who actually stepped in and helped them just over a year ago. So the 75-year-old man, Guy Miller, was walking his dog last November when it yanked him off his feet, and he face-planted hard. Jalen Lockhart, the mailman, saw it happen and helped him out. So Guy and his wife invited him over for Thanksgiving. Well, they invited his family over again this year. And they had an added surprise. Jalen told them he wanted to propose to his girlfriend at that dinner. So they had bottles of champagne ready to go. If you got any surprise visitors on Thanksgiving this year, probably wasn't like this. A woman in Long Island freaked out when her sister from Jamaica showed up at her front door for Thanksgiving. Just out of the blue. VCA Charities made sure a bunch of shelter pets got a good Thanksgiving this year. They donated turkey, pumpkin, and green beans for cats, dogs, and at the shelter in Philadelphia. Over 200 animals got a special Thanksgiving dinner. And that is the good news of the day.
Good news of the day this morning, being brought to you by Herschel Rustin Hayes. Check him out today. Monica, cyber shopping starts in about 120 seconds.
Oh, the sales were already going. They're already happening.
So 73% off a lot of things. You got to be careful. You got to be careful because a lot of places mark the prices up only to lower the prices.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Watch out for those so-called 50% deals. If you really did your shopping, you've been watching something, you know if it's discounted.
Yeah. But it's the same thing at the big box stores. The pallet stores, when you go in there and you go, well, that's not really a great deal.
Right.
That's not an awesome deal. All right, Russ Black coming up with Tradio. We'll be back on the show coming up tomorrow morning, bright and early at 6:06. Hope you have an awesome day. Be safe out there. We got rain in some parts of our listening area this morning. It's going to be sunny across southeast New Mexico. High today getting up to about 57. Looking good coming up for tonight in Ruidoso, but maybe some rain in Albuquerque all day today. Only a slight chance, 20% chance of the wet stuff. Coming right back. Tradio up next. Be in the Breakfast Club. We're out.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. President Trump invites the